Before we start the video, just a quick disclaimer. We're both just guys that play this game for a long time, and we might be wrong about some things that we talk about, or we might remember it wrong. However, if anyone has any questions or anything that they would like to share, just go ahead, leave a comment, and if there's enough demand, we will be making a stream to respond to the comments, and we will also be answering any other questions on the stream. Alright, enjoy the video. Hello everyone, now we're gonna be doing an interview or podcast with FlakeGem. Not sure what to call it, but we had this idea for an interview because we wanted to talk about the competitive scene in Storm in general and also share our insight because we thought it would be a little bit of fun and also interesting for some people.
Okay.
Um, and we're gonna be talking about each year of Storm 4 in order until the release of Connections. Like we're gonna be talking about who are the best players, who are the most dominant players for each year and each region, and also we're going to be looking at how the things were in the competitive scene and the community during those years. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If is there anything you'd like to say? Uh,
I would just like to say, first thing first, hello everyone. My name is FlakeGem. I think it's more of a podcast than an interview because we want to share our insight on the game and overall. It's we've been wanting to do this for the last, I don't know, year or something,
yeah, 2 years.
but we just yeah, like we just have the time. So yeah, let's go.
All right. So
I think we should start about like uh, the beginning of the game, basically. Your
beginning of the
experience.
game. All right, beginning
Yeah.
of the game. So the year was 2016, uh, and February, I believe. Players in Middle East got the game 1 month early, and then in the March, everyone else got the game. That's what I
Yeah.
remember. Um,
Yeah.
we had tournaments, right? Hosted by CC. No, oh, no, sorry, Bandai Namco. They hosted qualifiers in the first month of the game, and
Mm.
then we had a big championship, and San and Slayer won that one, which had the biggest prize pool ever for a Storm tournament. Um, we never reached that kind of prize pool.
Do you remember how much it was?
Yeah, 16,000 euros, and the
Oh
first
wow.
place got 8,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's.
that's the highest that's ever been.
Mm. But on the other hand, you've been playing since Storm 2 or something.
Yeah, that's right. I've been playing since 2010. I started with Storm 2, and I played every single Storm game. Um,
Mm.
I've been playing in, clan battles, etc. I've I've been a part of this thing, but I never really, um, let's say, reached the top until
Okay.
Storm 4. How about you? When did you
No.
start playing?
Basically, I did the same thing, like played Storm 1, Storm 2, Generation, Revolution, name it. But the thing was, uh, I only played story mode, which was the common thing about almost everyone. Like we only know story mode, because I used to watch the anime, so I was just playing the game to play the story mode, and once I finished the story mode, I just threw the game.
Yeah.
However, in Storm 4, it changed because I didn't start early. Like I started mid, maybe June or July, something like that. I played the same thing, like I did the story mode, and then I just tried ranked match, and I started playing. I guess
But do you remember which Storm game you started playing ranked? Was it Storm 2
Storm
or
4. Yeah,
Storm
no,
4?
no, Storm 4. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
just Storm 4. The
All
other
right.
games I was just playing story mode.
All right. Well, in my case, it was with Storm 2. Well, I was basically a ranked scrub, just spamming ultimate jutsu, whatever. But after Storm 2, I got into clans, started doing clan battles, got a bit
Oh,
better than your average player on ranked. Uh,
okay.
in Storm 3, I had my, let's say, run-ins with like the, you know, high level players or like the best players in the community. Same with Revolution, but Storm 4, yeah, Storm 4 was like the peak for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's basically our experience or our history until Storm 4. And
Yeah.
when it comes to Storm 4, um, yeah, we had the championship, and after the, well, I believe I joined the qualifiers, like the first and the third qualifier for EU on PlayStation, which,
You mean the same tournament?
yeah, I joined the
Okay.
qualifiers.
Okay.
I lost the first, like, I think I lost on like the second round or third round to
Yeah.
some French player in the first qualifier, but on the third qualifier, I got to the I got to semifinals, and guess who I was against? I was against Django.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So
and Jan,
you met him in early 2016. Yeah.
yes, and um, he beat me 2-1, I believe, but he lost in the finals as well. Um,
Okay.
yeah, he didn't get to go there as well. But
Do you remember he lost to who?
I don't remember, but whoever he lost to, he didn't win either. Because
Okay.
Sun and Slayer was the winner and V Hero was the second player.
Uh,
But V Hero got there with invitation from Bandai, so he never won
Okay.
through the qualifiers.
Okay.
But I know both of them personally because we had a clan called Supremacy. Um, like I've been playing
Yeah.
with those guys since Storm 3. Like I know
Okay.
I know them basically, and yeah.
For
After
me
that,
personally,
yeah.
like for me personally, when I started playing 2016, once I finished the story mode, I got into ranked match, and I was just playing, spamming Rock Lee, This was the thing back then. Like in 2016, most players right now don't know. 2016, the game was much different than right now. Like the patch in 2017, it's a different game, totally. Like it was a different game. However, when I stopped playing ranked match, I would be so close to winning, and I get disconnected, and I was like, "What is this?" Like I really didn't understand the thing behind it. One match, another match, and the same thing kept on happening. And then I find out there's something called rage quit, which doesn't make you lose. However, people can know if you rage quit a lot. That's why if you go and search my account right now, you'll see me have like 255 rage quits.
Yeah.
And that's basically the last count on rage quits, which is 255. Because I most definitely rage quitted almost 500 times at the time, to be honest, because it was the thing.
I mean, and you cannot really be blamed for it because it's just a common behavior. Like that's what people do. You don't know any better, It's very normal for Storm community. Like I'm not trying to normalize rage quitting here, but if you don't know anything, it's normal.
It was the thing back then, Like I didn't get introduced to first to 5 and first to 10 until I met like top players, and then I got introduced to meta, legit, and everything. Like there is the environment back then. It was all about rage quit, especially in ranked match. Like back then, nobody was playing player matches. I mean it, like nobody. Like everyone was playing ranked match, and once they get close to losing, they would just rage quit. That was the thing back then.
Okay, let me tell you a little bit of what I remember. So on release of Storm 4, we didn't have spectator mode. And because we don't have spectator mode, people didn't really do clan battles. That kind of killed the community in the beginning. Like people didn't really do clan battles anymore. Like that's one of the main reasons why clans are not really a thing in Storm 4. People just do 2v2s at best because we couldn't watch it. But
which was really stupid.
Yeah, it was really bad. But then they fixed it later on. So at that time, maybe people didn't do player matches, but they would do player matches privately with their friends. Like they wouldn't go and
Yeah.
host a public session. It wasn't common, as you say.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's the reason basically. But I do want to get into, since we're talking about 2016, uh,
Yeah.
what made you change? Like, uh, what made you become a good player from a ranked player? What happened? Could you talk about that a little?
Basically, I remember the story. Like back then, I was fresh. Zone 4 is my first game competitively, in a sense. So once I came across the top players in my community, like the Arab players, there was some kind of a toxic behavior, in a sense. Like I'm fresh. They've been playing since Storm 2, Revolution, whatever, Storm 3, whatever. So I was like, okay, guys, I'll beat you. That was like the main idea, you know?
Yeah.
That was my ambition, like just to win against everyone. So I made an alternative account, which was called Nature Boy, if I'm not mistaken.
Nature Boy,
Uh,
really?
yeah,
All right.
because because it was wrestling. So the first thing that came to my mind, Ric Flair and whatever.
All right.
So that was my brain back then. So I made this Nature Boy account, and I was just playing these guys, and I was just screenshotting, because that was the thing back then. Back then, you cannot play a match without screenshotting the match or the score, or taking a video of the match or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was just playing against these guys, and I was winning, and I just made a video and download the video on YouTube. And after that, their behavior kind of changed. Like I just proved the point in their sense. Like they didn't take me in as a friend and they teach me. No, I just had to break my way in a sense. Like I just had to go there and show them that I can win against them, and then just upload a video on YouTube. And then they're talking to me, oh, you need to delete the video and whatever. So I deleted the video, and then now they became like, oh, you can do something. So their behavior kind of changed. However, I wasn't in their level at the time. Like this is probably was uh mid-September or something, or October, something like that. So I started evolving. I was playing against them, they were beating me, like every top player in the beginning uh, of my playing career in Naruto. So far in 2016, everyone did beat me. Like they were winning against me 10-0, 10-1, 10-2, 10-3. I was just losing. However, I was taking videos, and I would just go and review them and watch what were they doing right and what was they doing wrong, and analyze it and whatever. And I'll just work on my mistakes to evolve. And that did happen because I started playing against them in rematches and whatever. And then I was winning. Now I started winning. I changed Rock Lee to Naruto. Basically, Naruto was the best thing
You mean
at
Tail
2016.
Beast Bomb or?
Yeah, tier beast mode. Naruto was basically like we didn't know Naruto the Last. We didn't know Danzo. We didn't use Madara Sage. Like though they were nothing basically at the time, because Naruto Tail Beast mode had a jail. His circle, like his mashing was really 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 good. You cannot get away from it. Even Nagato wasn't a thing, if you remember, in 2016. So
I
basically, we were playing.
I mean
Yeah, go ahead.
at that time, uh, like in 2016 patch, I think the top mashers were the Eternal Mangekyo Sasuke, the PTS
Yeah,
Naruto, and Tail Beast Bomb
yeah,
Naruto. Also,
yeah,
Nagato was still used, maybe not so much in like Middle East. I'm not sure, but
yeah.
he was used in EU.
But he wasn't as OP as.
Yeah. He didn't really
Yeah, like
compare to EMS or Naruto's. You're right.
yeah, like back then, like nothing was a thing basically beside Sasuke and Naruto, PTS Naruto, Rock Lee PTS. Like we were just using them and mashing. Also Temari, we were just using Temari all over the place. You will see Temari also with the glitch that she had.
Yeah,
If you
the
remember,
yes, 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 I
that
remember.
was really like that was really broken.
The shuriken glitch, right?
Yeah,
That's
the
what you're
shuriken
referring
glitch.
to. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was very frustrating. Uh,
yeah,
and also at that time, Minato was really strong. Like he wasn't nerfed like he is now. His Rasengan damage was high, for example, and
yes, exactly.
dash cut wasn't as
Minato was the
OP
first.
as it is now, but it also still was a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah, like we had that dash cut Temari team since 2016.
yeah. Also, for me, uh, what's the word? I didn't care about losing at the time. I was just playing to get to know the game more, to get to know. So once I thought that I reached the peak and I beat everyone and whatever, and you know, back and forth with everyone, I met this guy. I was hosting a session,
This guy.
and yeah, and I remember the time. It was around 3 a.m., something like that. I never in my life, till this day, played someone for 8, 9 hours straight. Like we started the session at 3 a.m., we finished it in almost 11 or 12. But like we kept on playing for hours. And guess who that was? That was Depth of Darkness, which I want to shout out.
I mean, I
Basically,
didn't
he
have to
showed
guess.
me,
Yeah.
yeah, like basically he showed me that there is another level of this game. And I took like 5 to 6 hours of that play session and recordings, and I was just watching them over and over and over and over again because Depth at that time basically no one was as good as Depths of Darkness at that time. To be honest, like no one. Like he showed me something I didn't know that existed in the game. Like I played everyone at the time,
Hmm.
everyone in my community, and also I played Playco at the time. But like I didn't know that there's a lot of to this game. So basically, that was the what you call it. Me getting to know that there's levels to this game, and I didn't reach the top level yet.
Yeah, but
So
do you
yeah,
remember one other person in Asia, like Boz? You remember Boz?
yeah, I remember, boss.
Um, do you think, especially for 2016,
Yeah,
um, like, would you say he was like one of the best, or
yeah. Basically, Buzz was the bounty guy. You know, everyone wanted Buzz because they have their history, whatever, and revolution, whatever. So they just everyone wanted to beat Buzz. So I played him at the time in 2016. He was one of the best, you know. But uh, in my point of view, okay, so I have the experience in this game, and I believe I played everyone, and I kept on playing everyone for years. There is there is top players, and there is something that is above top players. You know, that's depth of darkness
I mean, I agree with you because
in 2016. Like this
do you
time,
mind if
similar to an A.
do
Yeah,
you
go
mind if
ahead.
I
Sure.
tell you how I met him? Well, um,
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
I actually met him just before Revolution ended. I mean, I knew him since Storm 3, but we never got close. We became close friends around
Okay.
end of Revolution, like start of Storm 4. And ever since then, basically he helped me become a better player
Yeah.
because to be honest, Revolution wasn't my type of game. I didn't really enjoy it, so I played it the least out of all the Storm games.
Yeah.
And because of that, I was behind the level of most players after that. But
Yeah.
he helped me catch up basically. But in 2016, I took a huge break from like March until September, and
Yeah.
when I came back, I just started mashing with Nagato, uh,
Yeah.
Nagato, Tail Beast Mom, Naruto, and Pain. and that was my thing for like a year or over a year. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, depth helped me crazy at that time. I didn't know, how good he is or anything like that, because I would just play him, and I
Yeah.
would just play a couple of my other friends. I didn't really interact with the community. I didn't know what French were up to, etc. I just thought,
Yeah.
okay, we had this Storm Championship. It's over now. We're not having any other tournaments. I'm just playing this
Yeah.
game with my friends. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
But um, yeah, I have to say he helped me tremendously, like get better at this game, which we can talk about more later. But I do want to add something else to what you
Yeah.
said about the toxicity in the community, because
Yeah.
you know how people screenshot how
Yeah.
like they had this toxic environment. We had
Yeah.
that thing since Storm 2. Screenshotting, recording videos, exposing people with screenshots and video matches. It's
However,
always been a thing.
not to interrupt you, in PS4, you have it already set to record and screenshot. Like before, they weren't doing that because they needed an extra phone or something like that,
Yeah,
or
it was
someone
not
to film it.
available to everyone. You needed a
Yeah,
capture
but
card.
so basically, once it was available for everyone, it became a thing,
Yeah,
and you will see it all over YouTube. So the community was toxic, and that helped the community to be even more toxic.
yeah.
In a sense.
I mean, yeah, definitely. And I have to say, at like the beginning of Storm 2, like people were kids. Like most of the
Yeah.
player base were kids. Like I'm talking about middle school students. Um,
Mm.
Same with Generations Storm 3. Like most of the players were kids. They grew up with it. There were some adults in the community,
Yeah.
but they mostly quit in Storm 3 or Revolution, etc. But
Yeah.
by Storm 4, those players that were kids, like me, for example, like I was 14 when Storm 2 was a thing. I
Yeah.
became an adult. Most players in, let's say, my generation became an adult. Like we were like the flag bearers, if you will.
Yeah.
But the same behavior continued from Storm 2
Yeah.
until Storm 4. It, it only changed in the last few years, but
Yeah.
because most players got older. Um,
Yeah. And most of the old players have quit, so that's why it changed.
that is
Because
also true because old players kept that
yeah,
culture. Yeah.
because I remember at the beginning of 2016, I will find my name randomly. Like back then, my ID was CR7 RM whatever. Like I was nobody, and I still find myself on YouTube. And so you'll see people calling me names and say, "Yeah, like go watch your video on YouTube or something." Like I was naked or something, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was that thing. However, I want to finish the thing that you asked me about, like boss and top players and
Yeah.
Arab and depth. Uh, like back then, I will. Okay, let's say I play Sasuke MS and not a Tail Beast. That was the team back then. We were playing one support. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll pick that team, and I'll play against any top players. I might win one game, he might win one game, and whatever. However, when it comes to depth, we will use the same characters. I couldn't win. Literally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I couldn't win. That's why there is uh there is like top players and there's levels and there's depth
I
for
mean,
me.
maybe you can talk about the technical side of why you couldn't win. Like, what was the difference between Depth and other players at
Okay,
that
so
time?
basically character knowledge, you don't have to have a lot of like knowledge about that. We're not playing Tekken. We don't have 100 move, you know?
Yeah.
Like we all understand the moves. However, the base that he was using, the timing, the execution, like it was different. That was different. However, he wasn't playing as serious, you know. That's what made him dangerous because Deb, he doesn't take the game seriously,
Yep.
in a sense. Like he play whenever he feels he's comfortable to playing. And back then, everyone was using alternative accounts. Okay, so he has all the right to use an alternative account and play in it and feel comfortable playing in the alternative account.
Yeah.
So that was the thing back then. Like, I mean it when I say nobody except for a few people that were playing on their mains account.
Yeah, a few people
Because
that are the exceptions. They were
like
just playing for fun.
like especially in my community, like the Arab community,
Yeah.
it was all about exposing. Like everyone had 3 to 4 accounts, to use. So
Yes.
when he joined my second, I wasn't familiar with who he is. I didn't know that there is something called depth, and he's one of the best players since, I don't know, some tool or generation, whatever. Uh, I didn't know, you know,
And
because he was playing on like he was playing with his friend or whatever.
mm-hmm.
But he, for some reason, Dark X Dark's Insanity, which is the brother of Depth, he told
Yes.
him to play me. So yeah, that was the reason. However, since I came up with X Dark's Insanity is the guy that took me in a sense. He
Yeah.
was the only guy he took me in. So I'll be for, like, you won't see FlakeGem. You wouldn't see me. You wouldn't see anything of me if there wasn't something called Extractus Insanity, because he took me in. He told me basically the history of the game and why is everything is happening like this and why people are so toxic. He
Mm-hmm.
basically was playing with me as a friend, which was really weird to me at the time because everyone was my enemy in a sense.
Yeah.
Even if they show respect or whatever, they taking screenshots, they taking recordings, they're gonna use them one day. They're gonna
Yeah.
threaten you one day for some reason. But in X Dark, he didn't do that. He would just go and play and talk as we're playing, and we test move together and we test whatever together, and that's that. So I thank him for that.
I mean, it's very lucky that you met him in that way and he gave you that opportunity because I know from experience with depth, especially if you're a new player, he wouldn't
Yeah,
really he wouldn't really be like, "Hey, let me become friends with this guy." Like he wouldn't
yeah,
really go out of his way to do that. He would just keep on his own because he knows how people are in general. When they see an
yeah.
opportunity, they will try to get some
which is
reputation out
which
of
is
you.
the right thing to do, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
for everyone that is listening, back at the time, that was the right thing to do to avoid everyone, basically, because that how the community was really toxic. Because now you see everyone streaming, everyone is having fun, everyone is enjoying the time, because those garbage from the past have quit. Like, we had some really, I don't know what to call it, like psychos, basically.
But
Like, they're, yeah, go ahead.
but also I think it's important to mention the reason those types of people cannot exist anymore is because we are able to say like record or stream at any given
Yeah,
moment. So
yeah,
when they are caught, and they are caught because they're not good players, they just play to win 1-2 and go.
mm.
They get caught, they cannot continue their, you know,
Nobody gives a shit about
yeah,
it.
they cannot continue their nonsense of being the best,
Yeah,
blah blah blah
yeah.
anymore because they end up
Their
losing on
stories
stream.
and whatever.
Yeah, that's the reason they left basically, because they cannot
Yeah,
do what they used to do in other Storm games.
yeah, exactly.
And what a good thing that is, because
Yeah, like, to have this environment right now, like, everyone's like, we still have some toxic people in the game, which is normal for any game, by the way.
yeah,
However, it's not as much as before.
it's much better
Not
now.
like that. Yeah, like, for me personally, I don't watch streams anymore. I don't have enough time to watch it. I'm not diving into the community like I used to. Like, when someone tell me, "Hey, go watch this and watch that," I will just go and watch it. But overall, the community is way better right now. It's much more healthier right now. Like, when new players come, they will get people to tell them, "Hey," they will take them in. They will teach them the game. They will be friends. They will enjoy the time in the game. There is not the thing that when I started the game, like, they won't have to go through all of that, basically.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I was playing in a toxic way back then because everyone forced it. Like, you were forced to play in that manner. You know,
hmm
losing was basically dying back then. in
Yeah,
a
people
sense.
thought of it as like life and death, and
Yeah,
like when you look at players that started from 2020 and onwards, they
mm,
have no idea that things were that way, and
yeah,
they just play, and then they randomly encounter some toxic guy, and they're like,
yeah,
"What's going on? Why is he acting like this?" But if
yeah.
we only knew the history of the game, um, well, before we move on from 2016, I want to ask you one last thing.
Yeah.
At least when it comes to Asia, other than Baz and Dept, who else do you
Yeah.
think were like noteworthy players, like the best or the most dominant of that year? Do you
Okay.
remember any names?
Yeah, basically at the time, uh, like in 2016, that's that's really a difficult question in a sense because
It's been 9 years.
it's not about the time and but it's more about uh no one was playing in their main account in a sense,
Ah, yeah,
like you
it's
don't
hard to
know who
keep
is
track
that and
too.
who is that. Yeah, like you don't know who is this and who is that. Like you cannot find out who is this and who is that, because everyone was using alternative accounts back then. So you cannot tell beside depth and buzz in a sense that who was. But if I'm going to name someone, and not just because he's my friend, because he beat me at the time, X Dark was really good at 2016. He was really one of the top players, and I'll just finish my list with X Dark's Insanity because
All right.
no one was using their real account back then. So
Well,
yeah,
as a side note, I've also known him since 2016 because when you're friends with Depp, you have to know Dark too if you're on Storm
yeah,
because they
yeah,
play together. And
yeah,
personally, I had like a rivalry kind of friendship with him because he always
yeah,
wanted to beat me. I don't know
yeah.
why,
Like,
because I have
like
no
because
problem with him beating me, but he just wants to beat me whenever we play.
yeah, basically that's his mentality, which I was like. Basically, I built my mentality on Dark because even if we are friends or whatever, you cannot beat me. You know,
Yeah,
like when I first met Depth, I didn't know who was Depth and whatever, but my initial thoughts were I want to rematch him. Like the score that we had at the time was he beat me like 80 something. That's a real thing,
like
It's not
80. What?
it's not a joke.
Do you know
Yeah,
how
like
many
it's not a
wins you
joke.
had?
I cannot seem to remember because at that moment I was not trying to win. I was trying to learn more, because life is about two things for me personally. It's win or learn. There is not something called losing,
Yeah.
especially in a video game. Especially in a video game. So I was just trying to learn. I was basically trying to learn how he's executing everything at the time, and he was doing everything right and correctly. So yeah. But
All right.
then after 2016, we just had the patch, which
Wait. Before
yeah,
we move on, I want to say a couple of things. Um,
go ahead.
yeah, like I said, I had a huge break, and I wasn't really interacting with the community at the time. But from like to my knowledge,
Yeah.
there were a few names that stood out in EU. Um,
Okay.
I have to say, first of all, Sanin obviously won the championship for that
Yeah.
year. He has to be mentioned as one of the best, at least, if not the
Yeah.
best. But
Yeah.
he probably isn't the best because at that time, you remember Deadly?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Deadly. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
had him,
Name
the Albanian player. So I think, even back then, he was like
Yeah, he was
better
good. He was good. I played him. Yeah, I played him in
because
2016.
Sanin didn't switch like him. Like Sanin
Hmm.
played it
Oh,
like without switching.
yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. Actually, I agree.
So
Yeah.
I
Deadly was.
think Agent would have beaten him if they ever played at that time.
Yeah.
And we also had Kalamobs, the guy I meme all the time. Like,
Yeah.
sure, I like to joke around, etc., but I think I have to mention him as like top three or top two. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't think he
Yeah.
could beat Sanin though, but I have to mention him as top three, because
I actually didn't know he was EU. I thought he was NA all this time.
yeah,
It's the
because he
first
would
time I
hang
know.
out with NA players, so people would
Yeah.
often think that. But then they're like, hey, why are you yellow? Like other NA players would think that like he's NA too, but nah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that would be my top three for EU for that year,
Mm.
and for NA, I have to say two names stand out. Um, maybe you could add Playco there too, but I would say
Yeah.
Reanimation Hero and Dark Mask stand out in
Yeah.
2016. Like, um, I just want to talk about this quickly because
Yeah.
I'm not the most knowledgeable guy of NA at this time, but I remember clearly from
Me neither.
few streams, um,
Yeah.
Mask was like one of the only guys that would switch, and he had a mastery over
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
we could call him a pioneer basically when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And Reanimation Hero was like, uh, he was the guy, like one of the first guys I've seen with Minato Temari dash cut, and he's also pretty good with switching. Those are the
Yeah.
guys I have. Those are the guys I have to mention, and Playco as third. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's fair. Um, all right, 2017. Then we had
Yeah.
2017 Road to Boruto. Um,
Yeah.
how was 2017 for FlakeGem or CR7?
2017. Okay. Basically, we had the batch, which basically changed everything about the game in a sense.
Yeah.
Like we don't have the glitches that we had in 2016. Well, basically 80 to 90% of the characters were nerfed, especially the top characters like Naruto Tail Beast, AMS Sasuke. Every character that had a mashing point, they were nerfing it. So we went to find Kakashi Storm 3. We didn't touch him because he wasn't a thing in 2016. We also find the third Raikage, which is still have a good mashing. Also Nagato, Pain. At basically when I met Depth, it was late 2016. I wasn't switching a lot back then, but after I met him, I started switching because he was really a master at switching. So I started switching. And 2017, after the patch, you cannot use supports anymore, like Timari, Dashka, whatever. They were not working alone anymore, you know? So I had to use switching. And I came with a name, if you remember it, which was called Revolt of Exotic.
Yeah, I remember.
Basically that was my ultimate project at the time.
Why do you call it
To
Ultimate
beat
Project?
everyone. Yeah, like to beat everyone, download it on YouTube. I think people can still find my channel on YouTube and the videos. I think so, if I'm not mistaken. You'll still find them. However, I beat everyone in the era, basically back then. Everyone that were playing, you know, like they have a world play, basically. So I beat them. I downloaded it in a video, and I just quit the game and I moved to Tekken back then. So half of 2017, I was playing only Tekken.
Wow.
Yeah.
I believe it was the first time we played too.
Yeah, in 2017.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you
Like I
won
was playing
5-3, and yeah, I was just mashing with Nagato. You were switching.
Yeah.
I remember. Like I
Yeah.
remember you did so many fireballs with Sasuke the last.
Yeah, yeah. I was just switching back then. Like in 2017, my main thing was just switching. Yeah.
But yeah, like you, when I played you, I was like, hey, this guy is playing like Agent in Depth. He's switching a lot too.
Yeah.
That was my reaction. Yeah.
So how about you? Like 2017, how it was?
For me, I definitely became better. Like I became a better masher. Let me put it that way. Like I learned how to use the characters without doing switch moves. And you know, with the patch, the neutral game changed. Like it, especially if you're not switching, jump guarding and mashing, or you know, countering that mind game part of things became really relevant if you're not switching. So I got used to all of that, and I played. Yeah, I played you. I think I played Playco at that time. Um, I played some players. Like Depp told me to like play some players because
Okay.
I asked him, hey, um, I wanna play some good players. Who can I play? And he suggested I play you, Playco, a couple of other guys. But yeah, I still didn't go out of my way and play many people. Just a couple of people. Um,
Okay.
I still didn't play people from EU at that time, except for Agent either. But he was
Yeah.
always yellow bar with me anyway. He wasn't blue. Um,
Yeah.
so personally, my experience at that time with like lag and whatnot was like almost always yellow bar. And
Yeah.
when I played in blue bar with Kala, I was like, hey, this is different. I don't want to sound disrespectful. Kala is not the most not the best player of all time, but
Yeah.
he still provided me with some experience. But
Yeah.
of course, when you never play in yellow bar blue bar for almost all of your time on Storm, and then you suddenly start playing, uh, it is challenging. I think I played French players in
Okay.
2017 or 18. I'm not sure.
Mm.
Just to be safe, let's say 2017. No, let's say
Okay.
2018, because I don't remember. Um, yeah, I didn't really play many players, and
It was a
community.
calm year in
Yeah,
general.
yeah, it was a
There was
calm year.
nothing much.
People were learning how things are. Oh no,
Yeah.
sorry. I did play French players. Um, I think I played them. I remember playing in this ESL tournament.
Okay.
ESL was hosting tournaments at the time. Like first they hosted a free tournament, and like the first tournament for EU, I won that one, and
Okay.
that's when I first met French players really. And then like they basically, from what I understand or what I heard at the time, they all got angry that I won without switching. Like they were
Mm.
like, how can this guy be the best in EU? He's not even switching. Um,
Okay.
so they basically
Yeah,
went on
yeah,
a
yeah.
hunt for me.
I seem to remember that you won a tournament or something in 2017.
I won multiple tournaments. Well, I'm gonna explain in a moment. Basically, what happened is, after I won the tournament, the guy that I beat in quarterfinals, Kasuga or something, he said, "Hey, let's first to five," and I first to five him. I beat him 5-0, and all the French were on stream. They were uh, like they were getting sad for him, like trying to defend their guy, basically,
Mm.
French pride and whatnot. But then he wanted to do a rematch. I said, okay, let's do a rematch. I'm half asleep, to be honest. I just do it on midnight. I'm like, this is gonna be easy. He was easy before. There's no way he's gonna beat me. But I got 5-0'd. I'm like, what the hell? This is someone else, and it is someone else. It is his friend
Yeah.
on his account. Like I was
Okay.
caught off guard. You know, like I can't do
Mm.
anything. Kaito Kaze, whatever. He apparently used to be a styler and then became their best player at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy beat me basically 5-0 on his friend's account, and then never played me again. Like
Yeah.
all French insulted me. Like they were like, "Oh, Jaleac is trash. Haha, he lost 5-0. Blah blah blah."
They always have anger issues for some reason.
Yeah, like all because I won a tournament and then I beat their guy 5-0. Like I didn't even do anything disrespectful to the guy. I
Yeah.
just played. I just won.
Yeah.
Like I guess they were not happy with the idea that there are players in EU that can beat them that are not French.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the best way I can put it. And then I played Keto. I played Sawada. I lost to Keto 5-3. I remember I beat Sawada 5-2 or 5-3, and then he lied
Yeah.
about beating me. I don't know why he did that.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's funny.
and then
Okay.
we had Tournament of Power like Kuyon hosted 2017 or 18. I'm not sure. 2017 probably. Um,
Mm.
it was a 3v3 tournament. Uh, I won that tournament with Yama and Kawaki, of NA player. Uh, yeah, basically me winning there, everyone was like, "What the hell? How did this guy win? He's a noob." Like French
Yeah.
are thinking I'm a noob. Pleiko was thinking I'm a
Yeah.
noob too. I beat Pleiko in that tournament, which actually made him really angry, if I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, at that time, and he wanted to first to fight me. We did. He beat me 5-2, I believe.
He didn't play you again, yeah?
I didn't really ask to. I just quit. I was like, I'm not gonna play anymore. It was almost summer break anyway. I was still in uni, so I just quit.
Yeah.
Um,
I see.
yeah, I think that was it for
Like in
2017 for me.
2017 was a game which were player were evolving, and also most of the players in 2016, or the old players, they were quitting because the game changed on them significantly.
Yeah.
So when I came back late 2017, I was playing with Dark, and he was showing me new, I guess, what do you call it, style of the game. Because in early 2017, I was just switching. That was my thing, just switching, whatever. But then I found out, no, there's a different style now that people are playing, and he showed me that there is something new, and it's not only just switching. And I remember clearly back then, 2017, Django was the guy for EU. Basically, he was uh Django was really like good player back then in 2017. Like Doc told me that you should play this guy, and I said okay, and I played him, and I was kind of surprised because he was doing stuff really different from what I thought. And we also been still using like one support, I guess, back then. Like two support didn't come a thing until like 2018. In 2017, we also still like used one support. And I also remember like late 2017, I got introduced to the EU community in a sense because I didn't know it was a thing, to be honest. Like I didn't know they have a community, they have top players, they have like my knowledge was very very low back then because in 2016 I was only focusing on my community, how to beat these guys on server. But I got introduced to the AU, the French community, the UK community, Django basically, and I can say I didn't enjoy playing anyone from EU except for Django, to be honest,
Okay, I have to.
because yeah,
I have to interrupt because I remembered something important. At that time, 2017, like when I talked about Tournament of Power, I think like Qion's tournament, I think that was in 2018 because I started switching after losing to Kaito. Like for the
yeah,
ESL tournaments that were done in the future, I started switching. I started using Hashirama, Danzo, and the last Naruto. Like that was my main team at that time.
okay,
And yeah, I won like 3 of the 8 tournaments that they hosted for money. Like I lost some to, like I lost a round to Geza at one point. I remember losing to that. Yeah, I remember losing a round to Kaito, semifinals or finals or something like that.
okay,
So they were like Geza, for example, was still a good player at that time for EU. Django, as you say, was also a good player, and Kaito
yeah,
also. But I, like you said, Django was special for you, right?
yeah.
While I agree, Django was better than them. I I think Agent would have beaten him if they played. Like he would have beaten all the
Yeah, of
EU
course,
players because he played
because
with 3
Agent was
teams.
more, yeah, because Agent was more playing meta in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, he was like,
Like Django was playing, yeah, like one support,
yeah, they
something
basically
like that.
had no chance against him at that time, but they
Yeah,
were FD. Yeah,
yeah,
I just want to mention that because, well, French players think they were, so good at the beginning of the game or something, but they were not.
yeah.
Anyway, um, do you remember what you were saying?
Basically, as I was saying, 2017, like late 2017, when I came back and started playing the game and whatever, I got introduced to the new style and everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
Dark in a way, he convinced me to stay and play the game
Yeah.
because back then I was focusing on Tekken 7. I was playing Tekken more. Uh, so I said, okay, why not? And I kept on playing until we got to basically 2018, which was basically the introduction of FlakeGem, whatever you want to call it. I changed my name and whatever. So yeah,
All right.
should we move to 2018?
Uh, I think we could also mention one last thing about NA here. At
Yeah,
this time, still, Mask was the best player for their region,
yeah,
and if I remember correctly, Reanimation Hero was like the only player in NA that got some kind of wins on him. Uh,
yeah,
I don't think Playco or iPal really got any significant wins on Mask at the time. Like they were just
yeah,
losing most of the time. So
yeah.
Mask was the best in 2017, and with, from what I remember talking to Dept, he used to tell me he thought like if he's being real, like uh, he thinks either him or Mask like was the best at those years.
To be honest, I
Like
agree
top
with
one,
him
like real
because
top one. Like that's what he was
yeah, like
thinking.
because to be honest, as you said before, in 2016, Mask was really different, and he basically made a new style.
Yeah. Like we couldn't really play him though, because he wouldn't really play other regions. I know he played Boz, but well, that's a little secret conversation. Not our topic.
Yeah, I mean, like for uh, for Mask, he was using what was his team? Like Madara, Kaguya, and yeah, and PTS Gara.
Yeah,
So that was his team.
yeah, and which
When
is
he used
still a
that
good team.
team, yeah, like when he used that team, you know nobody's going to beat him in a sense.
Yeah,
You know, like and in A. So basically, he was their guy basically at 2016 and 2017.
yeah. Nobody had the skills or the knowledge to deal with him at that time. Definitely.
Yeah.
Like if he was not like top one world, he was top two. Like pretty much, he was.
And it's worth mentioning that in 2017, like even Depth dropped the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like we all did. Like we everyone did. Like drop the game. Like Depth, Boz, from my community, other players they dropped the game. The game was really different and really not as fun to be honest as it was in 2016 until like we got in 2018.
All right. Well, I think we can move on to 2018 then.
Yeah,
I think 2018 was very interesting compared to previous years, at least for us,
yeah,
because
yeah,
that's when we got used to the patch and got things going, right?
yeah,
Like we kind of mastered the
yeah,
patch, and um, people started playing more once again. Like
yeah,
we had more players, more tournaments, more activity, and
yeah,
personally for me, um, yeah, we were still doing ESL tournaments. I don't know, tournaments hosted by NA players and whatnot.
yeah,
Um, I remember playing the French. Uh, yeah, I basically beat all of them in FDs.
yeah,
Kaito didn't FD me, and Geza. Okay, at that time, I think like the first FD ever I did against Geza, because I wasn't sure about whether I'm gonna win or not, and they were very toxic to me. I was like I wanted Dep to get on my account. He got on my account. He beat him, 5-3 I think,
okay,
or 5-2. And after that, when we did actually FD, I beat him. Um, 10-8 or something. It was close, basically.
Okay.
And yeah, that's how I became the best EU or whatever. Because Kaito wouldn't FD me, Django didn't do FDs anyway. He basically gave up on that after losing to French players in FDs. Like he hated it. He just wanted to PM.
Mm. Yeah.
And that was the state for EU overall.
Okay.
How about Asia? What was it like in 18?
For basically in 2018, with in my community, I didn't have anyone to play. So that was basically the start of my journey to play EU and NA. At the time, uh, I got introduced to the EU and FTs. So I started playing French players, started playing all of the French players. Like I was playing endless FTs with them.
Yeah.
For some reason, they were insisting on beating me, in a sense, you know, like they just want to beat me.
Well, everyone
So
like if they don't beat someone, they go after them like until they win.
yeah, so I was having fun. It was a rivalry in a sense, so I was just having fun, and I was enjoying like winning, against them. Like I was
One-sided rivalry.
yeah, like I was like enjoying my time against them, and uh, I played whom I played to, yeah. And then there was like Mask didn't play out of region basically, and in
Yeah.
2018 that was basically the rise of Playco to be their top
Oh,
player
oh yeah. Let's
in a
talk
sense.
about that because I don't
Yeah,
know if you remember the detail, but let me tell you. Basically, what happened was, if I remember right, Mask was on iPal's account against Playco in the first 10, and
yeah,
Mask still lost the first to 10, even though he tried like really hard. At some point, he lost 10-8, and
mm,
that started the rise of Playco, like his
yeah,
journey to being top one NA. Because after that, when Playco was very careful with rematching, but yeah, he just rematched him at the right times and he just won
yeah.
overall. Uh,
So at the time, Doc actually insisted that I should play Playco and beat him,
mhm.
and I went to play Playco, I think, and he actually, I think he beat me like a couple of times. Like he was really good at the time because he came up with Yugito. We didn't know Yugito back then. Like I'm not fully crediting him to on Yugito because it was like a Rumination Hero, from if I remember correctly, was
Uh,
playing her in 2017
well,
or something.
from what I know, it's the Canadian players that really used Yugito the first and Playco too. Like by
Yeah,
Canadian players, I mean the Canadian French players like Ex Criminal and Grimjo. I think they used Yugito the first, and Playco too used right after.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
something like that.
and basically in the competitive scene, I first saw Yugito with Playco, and I didn't know she was that OP.
Hmm.
She was actually a mess, in a sense. Like she was really, really good. So when I came and I played against her, I was like, "Oh, this is really OP, especially in delay, because her tilt is really like fast, and he was just spamming the tilt and using dash cut and whatever." And I was
Yeah,
like, "Okay, there is only one way to beat that kind of playstyle, which was basically the invention of Madara, Danzo, and Sasuke the Last, and Awakening. Like my trump card was always Awakening, and I started basically I find out that I really play good with Danzo. And Madara Six Path, you don't have to play good with Madara Six Path because he's really good. Like he will just help you.
oh, I just
And
remembered one
also,
thing. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
go ahead.
Uh,
Yeah, sure.
I have to mention, Dept was like the guy that insisted on abusing Danzo. Like he thought it, he was like the one of the most OP characters in Storm 4, and he's right. He
Okay.
is right,
Yeah,
but
it is.
I think um, I don't know who, or like I don't know which one of you thought of combining it with Sage Madara the first, but yeah, whenever it happened, and since then, you and Deb been using it.
Yeah, like for me, I was just playing long hour sessions with Dark, and I always loved to play Danzo because Danzo was my one of my favorite characters in Naruto. You know, like
You
the
mean the
anime.
anime? Ah, okay.
Yeah, the anime. So and I find out that you cannot ignore Madara Six Beth. Like he's really OP. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's mix them. And you know me back then in 2017, I used Sasuke the Last a lot, so switch Jitsun with him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I have enough knowledge with Sasuke the Last, so I planted Sasuke the Last with them, and it was really like really OP. However, you can throw Sasuke the Last out of the equation, and you can use anyone else, and the team will still work really good.
Yeah,
But
but
back then at the time, I find that Sasuke the Last was basically the Susanoo awakening, his jutsu, his canceling, his efficiency, everything was right about Sasuke the Last to be combined with that team. So I came up with that team, and I remember clearly the first time I won against Blaco, and it was actually back at 2018 for some reason. I cannot seem to remember why. Me and you had something, I don't know what we call it, and he
I know,
jumped in your.
I know what. It's because of
Yeah.
Dark, basically, because we didn't really have a thing. We just had a thing because Dark would lose to me, and then he would involve you in it, and he would get you to beat me.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
So
We didn't really have beef, like
yeah, so
just because of Dark.
basically,
Yeah.
Blako hopped in your account, and I
Oh,
was
oh,
just
oh,
like
oh,
doing a
oh,
normal.
you mean that? No.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me tell you what happened. Um,
Okay.
so to give context here, Debt is close friends with all of us, right? You, me,
Yeah.
and Placo.
Mm.
So because he's close with all of us, and at that time, he he kind of had some, let's say, like uh, beefs with Dark. All right.
Yeah.
So he, maybe you don't know this or forgot about this, but I'll just let you know. Like he basically
Okay.
wanted you to lose, like or try to make you lose. So that's why he got Playco on my account. Like he had that idea. I'm like, okay, let's do it. And we
Okay.
got Playco on my account to beat you, but it
Yeah.
didn't
So
work out.
basically,
You won 10,
yeah,
9. Yeah.
yeah. When when I got that win in that FT, and I knew that it was Playco, I was like, okay, I'll just uh go back and watch the FT again, and I go back and watch the FT again, and I start to analyze my playstyle and whatever. Well, that's was my thing basically in my whole career in Naruto so far. That I was just go back and watch my FTs and see the mistakes that I made and just get evolved and evolved. And that when my rivalry with Plyco started, like in 2018. Like
Yeah.
after that FT, like we kept on playing FTs. Like the only thing that made Playco play with me was because I was winning. When
I
I
know.
like you cannot like we cannot rematch Playco when he is winning. Like he will give you a rematch like after 3 4 months, something like that.
I mean,
You
yeah,
know?
this is something I want to talk about. Um, okay, like we had a long history. I had a long history with him. You had a long history, and like I don't want to start anything, but I think we don't need to lie,
Yeah,
hold back
yeah.
on this because it's in the past. I think what what was happening at that time was basically he would only play people like if he beat someone once or twice in an FT, he wouldn't give them rematch for several months, and that
Yeah.
was his behavior with everyone. no exceptions. Um,
Yeah.
and also, he would, if you remember, he loses 2 matches in a row with a team. He changes teams. That was like
Yeah.
his go-to strategy. Like, change
Yeah.
teams if your opponent adapts. If you win 1 or 2 FDs in a row, don't rematch for some time, which is very
Yeah.
effective for winning. I'm not really judging him, but
Yeah.
um,
That
it
was his thing.
that was his thing. But it also
Yeah.
made him like very difficult to beat because he wouldn't give people chances to beat him.
Yeah.
Like it's fair, but
Yeah.
if you do that kind of thing, then people are gonna try to find ways to play you again, like making
Yeah.
alternative accounts, which is what you did,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes,
Okay.
that is correct. Because uh, to be, how to put it, like to be very clear about everything. Like now, I mostly quit so forth. Like for the past 2 years, like you don't see me playing the game, so there is nothing to hide here. There is nothing to not say here or whatever. Playco thing was, and do not understand me wrong here. He was the best player in 2018. I fully give him that. He was that guy.
Uh,
And
uh, uh,
yeah,
uh, I okay.
disagree.
Well, I just disagree because of depth only,
Okay.
cause because of
Well,
several
we're not
reasons.
we're not
But we can talk about that later. Uh, yeah.
okay. Basically, if there is no comparison here because depth isn't active in a sense. Because
You mean at that time?
yeah, at the time, like depth wasn't active. Like I'm talking about a specific period of time in 2018. Like there were a couple of months where Pleco was basically undefeated, and depth was not as active in a sense because let me put it this way to you. I played from 2016 till I don't know 20
Okay, I
like
know what
actively.
period you're talking about. Uh,
Yeah, like I played in 2016 until maybe 2022 or 2023 actively in the game. Nobody has been as good as depth. That's my ultimate thing about everything, like when I say top one, there's solely depth of darkness.
but
However, at that time,
yeah,
2018, depth was not as active. Like he would play me, he would play you, but he's not playing as he was playing in 2016.
yeah,
Like
but
he's not.
I
Yeah.
just remember like he would also play Playco sometimes, and
Yeah.
like we couldn't beat him. Nobody could beat Playco at that time.
Yeah.
Um, but he was like the only guy winning in sessions against him when he did play. But he didn't really play like FDs. They would just PM.
Yeah, like yeah,
Yeah,
that's my
that's
thing. Like
yeah.
my concern here is the competitive scene, like NFTs, Like my thing is in 2018 when Playco find his way against Mask because Mask was always on top of his head. So once he got that break, in a sense, he started like becoming really strong. So I was like,
Yeah,
there is a mountain to climb here. There's something really, really good in Playco.
yeah. There's a real challenge.
So yeah, so I was focusing
Oh,
on like yeah, go ahead.
I just remembered. Um, I remember like I remember exactly what happened because um, you were having a difficult time dealing with him at this time,
Yeah,
and like especially with when he would pick Yugito because you could deal with other teams, but Yugito would give you trouble. I remember that
yeah,
clearly, and
yeah,
when like I don't want to brag or anything, but I just have to say what happened at that time
yeah,
when he was undefeated in that period. I kind of ended that streak when I beat him in that first to five.
yeah. First of five,
Yeah,
the five
because
four or 5-3.
no 5-4, 5-4. Because it was 4-1, but he came back. I barely
Yeah.
won. Um,
Okay.
But yeah, like that basically ended his streak
That
because
was
like he
that
would
when
just
you
keep
were
winning.
using Tayuya,
Yeah,
if I remember it.
he was using Tayuya. I was using. I using Tayuya?
You were using
Oh
Tayuya.
yeah, Hashi, Danzo, and Tayuya. You're right.
Yeah, and you won by the awakening, if I remember correctly,
Yeah,
right, with
because
Danzo.
he would think I would wait at the end. I just awakened. But I just dashed and mashed with Danzo
Okay,
awakening. He didn't
okay.
expect it for some reason. Anyway, um, that was so funny because when I won, people cheered me like I won the World Cup because he would just
Yeah,
beat everyone, and they were like,
yeah, he
"Hey,
was that dominant.
finally
Yeah, he
he
was that.
lost! Yay!" They were like that. Yeah, it was funny.
Yeah, he
But
was that dominant, to be honest. Yeah.
yeah, he really dominated pretty much at that time, and um, like honestly, for a reason, I dodged rematching him for like 2 months. First of all, because he
Yeah,
wouldn't give the chance to rematch to people, and second, I knew I was most likely gonna lose. Like
yeah.
I knew I wasn't better than him at that time. Um, but yeah,
So you're just avoiding rematching him. Yeah, I understand.
yeah, I avoided, but then I did rematch after a couple of months, which he beat me. Uh,
Yeah.
like I remember he beat me in no rules. Like I don't remember exactly. Like 10, 10-4, 10-5. He beat me in rules too.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, and then he didn't play me again for like 3-4 months. He just did the same thing. But that's another
So
topic. Um,
yeah, but to end my basically thing with him,
yeah,
uh, because it's a really important part of my history in the game in a sense. Uh, my basically battle with him was kinda in personal in a sense because he had this tendency when he lose, he would just force you to rematch him or whatever,
yeah, he would be very
and
persistent.
in, yeah, like he would be really angry, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But once he win, he will just dodge, whatever you want to say, whatever
Yeah,
you want to call it. He was just dodging, and I didn't have that mentality at the time. So once I had that win against him, I just kept on playing him because I wanted basically to be honest. Like uh, I'm not an angel or whatever. I wanted to demolish him basically at the time
yeah, and
because he had that ego about him, and I was just kept on playing him FTs. And I was just playing him in FTs, playing him in FTs, playing him in FTs. I would just beat him and beat
by
him
the
and
way,
beat him.
I have to tell
Yeah.
one more thing about this. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Sure, sure.
Playco, Playco actually, like, I think he never really respected you as a player.
Yeah,
While I clearly remember you actually respected him a lot of times. You showed respect, but like
yeah,
he never really appreciated that. He was like, I hate this guy. I wish he didn't exist. Like he had that
yeah.
kind
Like
of
he was that
attitude.
angry for some
Yeah,
reason. Like
like
I remember when he had that Discord community, whatever. Like he banned my name. Like I remember someone
uh,
telling me that,
okay, we're
and
gonna
it was a
talk
fact.
about that. Don't we're gonna talk about that.
Like that's something weird. Like you don't do that. Like you don't do
um,
that.
bro,
Like
it happened because of me. I'll explain. Um,
okay,
like
okay.
I didn't
Basically,
make
my
him do it, but he really hated me and you because of a lot of things. But
basically he had that mixed up idea. Like he cannot differentiate between taking a loss and just trying to play another match and win. No, like when it come to me, he would rematch and insist to get a rematch, and I would rematch him, and I didn't mind to rematch him,
yeah,
and I would play him, and I would whatever. But his main idea was not to evolve. He just wanted to win. Like that was his main concern. He needed that win for some reason. I don't know why. I'm not judging him. I'm not saying anything bad about that guy, but he just didn't handle the losses. That's it.
yeah, you're completely right. Um, like there's a phrase you can use here: "sore loser."
Okay.
Like there's nothing else to call it. He just cannot really, he couldn't accept losing at the time. Let's put it that way.
Basically, that
And
like when you mentioned that he doesn't respect me, I just kind of remember right now. Like I really forget a lot of things. Like I do like forget a lot of things, but yeah, now I remember. Like he couldn't take a loss from me for some reason.
yeah, only
Like
guys
I
he
beat. Yeah, go ahead.
only guys he accepted losses from were Mask and Depth. Everyone else is like
Yeah,
trash. Just like
yeah.
in his mind, trash. Just straight up like that.
Like if you take it from my point of view, like I beated everyone before I beat him.
Mm-hmm.
Like so he cannot say anything. Like there is no one in the equation that you can say, oh, you still didn't beat that guy or whatever. Like I went from out of my region. Like I went from to play EU. I beat basically almost everyone in EU, and then he was there in NA, and he was beating everyone basically. He was beating me. He was beating AU. He was beating NA. Whatever. So I had that challenge to go up against, and once I started winning against him, the guy was really weird in a sense. Like he had a lot of like he would have a lot of fake stories about me, like that guy did this and that guy did. Like I don't remember anything out of the top of my head right now, but that was his thing back then. I'm not again, I'm not judging him, I'm not saying whatever anything bad about him, but that was a fact. Everyone was there at the time remembers this. Everyone in his Discord community remember whatever he did about me,
Uh,
the things that he was saying about me. So
I mean,
that's
listen,
in my.
we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about this in detail when we get to 2020 and so on, because I also have a lot of things to say. But
Mm.
um, 2018, uh, what would you say? Before we move on, about
Yeah.
2018, who were the best players in Asia? What do you think?
2018.
Yeah,
Basically, in their community, everyone was just vanishing for some reason. So, I would still say depth because he still play the game.
yeah,
He's
I
not as active, but he still did play the game. I would say depth. Like I enjoy my matches against depth more than anyone, to be honest, because he's in some way unequal to me or superior, in a sense. Like I didn't get much wins against him until like we got in 2018. Like
mm-hmm.
before that, I was kind of a wash to him. You know,
Yeah,
comparing like my my wins against everyone else. Like I beat everyone else until I come to this guy, and he was just beating me. So until 2018, I would say still depth. He was the guy. Uh, yeah, I'll just say depth of darkness. Yeah.
yeah. All right. I mean, I pretty much agree with you because from what I've seen at that time, players in Asia were not really active except for
Yeah. Like
like
me basically.
You
Like
know
I was the
M34,
only one.
right? And his
Yeah.
guys, I think they were active at that time because I remember them coming to my stream, spamming in chat, M34,
Yeah.
the best player in the world, blah blah blah, all that nonsense. They were the only guys active in Arab community, and you and Dark and Depth. No, I don't think anyone else was active. Um, oh, I remember. You remember? Oh, well, of course you remember. You remember Shan, right? He was Darkness
Hmm.
666
Yeah,
at
but
that
but
time.
Shanghai didn't come until maybe 2020.
No, he changed the ID, but before that, his ID was Darkness
No, no,
six
no.
six
You
six,
you're
right?
mixing him with someone else.
Oh,
I'm
really?
sure. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that he came in 2020 or 2019, something like that. He wasn't there in 2018. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
because the guy is still young. Like he's now 18 years old or something. Like if he came in 2018, he would be 13 or 14. So
All right then.
no,
Yeah, I have no idea because I just remember having this conversation with Dark or Depth about who Darkness 666 is. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, just at that time though in EU, I have to say, um, I'm sorry, I I was I was the best when it came to
You don't
competing,
have to say you're sorry, to be honest,
but
because that was a fact.
huh?
That is a fact. You don't have to say you're sorry because back in 2018 in EU, you were the top player basically. You were their go player basically. Like
Yeah,
everyone beat you. Like yeah. So
but I I would say maybe like Django didn't compete, but he was pretty skilled other than just playing
yeah,
one sport only because he only changed that in 2020. Before that, he didn't even change it, which
yeah,
was like his biggest problem. Um, and yeah, Geza, Django, me, uh,
yeah.
AJ's
2019
kind of.
is
But
2019 is the year.
we forgot to mention one important thing. You
Yeah,
remember on 2018, like summer, Mask had this like stream where he would FD everyone. Like he just FD'd everyone. He
yeah,
basically beat
yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
And do you remember how he FD'd X Stark? But of course, it
yeah.
was not X Stark playing. Um,
Okay, I seem to remember that.
you
Do you
remember
know
that?
who was playing?
Yeah. Uh,
Who was it?
Depth was playing. Um,
Yeah,
Depth beat him 5-2,
yeah,
which was really, well, it was a surprise for a lot of people, but you know, I I
yeah,
wasn't really surprised personally because like he just taught me you Playco plenty of things about the game, and I wasn't really surprised to see him beat Mask.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but yeah, it I think that's the time when Death was like, hey, I did what I always wanted to do, and he just kind of
yeah,
became inactive in the upcoming years, right? He just
yeah,
played very little. But
yeah,
I think that's important to mention because I have to say 2018 and onwards is when Mask kind of started to not be top one anymore.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He dropped the competitive playing, I guess.
Yeah, because like he just became more of this guy where like after losing the depth he just kind of lost the confidence or whatever it is.
Yeah,
He just stopped playing. He didn't really FT people that were not NA players. And
yeah,
yeah, 2019, your peak or your I
yeah.
don't know rise to top one spot.
I think so.
How
Yeah.
did it happen?
Basically, I came out of 2018 really good. You know, like I found my play style, like the Madro Danzo, Sasuke last, everything. So I became for some reason really good. You know,
Yeah.
like I was playing. To put this into context to everyone that is watching this, in 2018, I was just playing FTs every day. I was just playing FTs, 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 FTs. That was my day. My day would just I'll be spending it in Arsenal for playing FTs. So when the year 2019 came, I came out of with a lot of knowledge about 99% of the players in the competitive scene. So I started basically pretty good dominance in a sense, you
Uh,
know,
like
and
like
against everyone.
could you go into a little detail on that? What do you mean?
Okay, okay. Basically, I was there's still like Giza was evolving, Rikido.
No, that Rikida was not a thing at that time.
Okay, but he was playing at the time with T's and everything. But
Did
he
he
was
really play
he
you?
wasn't.
Because until 2020, he didn't have a like good internet. He was red bar with French too.
Yeah, yeah.
You played him?
Also, we have
Really?
What? Huh?
Are you sure you played him in 2019? It should be
Yeah.
2020.
No, I'm sure.
All
I'm
right,
sure that I
that's
played.
interesting. Okay, um,
Maybe it was late 2019.
okay,
Not sure,
it should
but
be late because I remember trying
yeah.
to FD him in early 19 and he just like red bar.
No, no, I remember that red bar connection. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that. We also have what's his name? A French player, the OZ something.
Oh, Yukino.
Yeah, Yukino. Also Yukino, 2019. So basically, I was going up against EU. Also, shout out to the Lion, of course. I hope he's doing well.
Uh,
Rage,
uh,
Rage
wait,
was yeah,
wait, no, no,
yeah.
no. I'm sorry for interrupting you a lot, but
Mm.
Rage
No
was
worries,
like,
man.
Rage was still like he didn't really play
Yeah,
like
he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't like
he didn't
playing
really
FTs
play
and
like
everything.
us. Still, he was like hanging out with
Yeah,
Skibin. He was just
yeah.
using Dari,
But
etc.
I think 2019 when he started to play competitive. I don't know. My
2018,
memory.
2018, because I remember playing him often.
Mm,
Like I would
okay.
play him here and there. Uh, he's been playing since release, but he was like a ranked player, then just PM player, and then
Yeah.
2018, 2019, he would play with like Skibin, and
Yeah. Also Skiven.
yeah,
Yeah.
like he would hang out with
Yeah.
those guys, and
Yeah.
yeah, to be honest, I'll talk about Ridge in 2020, but 2019, um, in the first half of 2019,
Mm,
personally for me that was like probably my best time on Storm 4. Like
okay.
it was also your best. No, it was your peak, but it was my best time on
Yeah.
Storm 4 because
Yeah.
um, for my case, what happened was okay. Sorry for saying it like this, but I believe
Yeah.
like I won on like I won some FDs against you, like 5-4 or something.
Yeah. Sure.
Like I
Yeah.
got really close. Like it was close, but I won in
Yeah.
at that time. I also in the summer I FD'd Playco and
Okay.
that one I won 5-3 and that was when he had the whole mental breakdown thing. Oh, it's not Jal. Um, fuck you,
Okay. I
fuck
see.
everyone,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
he nuked his server's chat history because everyone would go up against him. And then
Yeah.
after shortly after that, he had banned words about me and you, because first of all, people were thinking it's not me playing, it's you playing or it's Dept playing. They just had that idea, and sure, we did that later, if you remember, like
Yeah. Yeah.
later
Yeah.
during
I
that
do.
year. But initially, I was the one that won that FP, and he just didn't
But
want to accept it. And
yeah,
um,
that's something I want to talk about.
yeah,
Uh, like for me, example, if I were to go, for example, against you, and I beat you, and you say, "Oh no, it's not you. Fuck you. It's depth. Whatever." That's uh, let's say, kind of play with you in a sense that you feel, oh, so even if I win, they do not they do not accept that it's me. So fuck it. I'll give my account to anyone. Like I'll let depth play in my account, for example. Like I will, So that's something that was weird about everything, because
uh, I mean,
if
okay,
he didn't want to credit you,
yeah,
like
he didn't
he
want
didn't
to
want to
credit me,
admit it was you who beat him actually.
but
So that's something.
I think I can mention a couple of things about this because I only gave my account to Playco one time. I gave it to
Yeah,
you like for like against Playco and in like one or two tournaments. I also gave it to Dept against French players and in like a couple of tournaments. But basically every single time I gave my account, first of all, I gave it against players I have already beaten myself. And second, I did it for because either A, I couldn't play at that time and I didn't want to miss the tournament, right? Because they didn't let you guys play in EU tournaments, and
Yeah,
I would have played myself normally, but I couldn't because I'm traveling. So I gave,
yeah,
or B, uh, like he was like Pleiko was dodging you at the time. That's why I gave you my account. And with French players, to be honest, it was because they were dodging me, and I wanted to get
yeah,
depth on my account to beat them initially. But at the end of the day, I still beat them myself. And if you want to clearly know when it was me playing and beating them and when it was not, you can just take a look at the connection, and when it's blue bar, it's clearly me playing,
okay,
right? I mean, it's pretty obvious. Um,
yeah,
and yeah, I have to say, at for that short period in the first half of 2019, that was like the best time for me because
yeah.
I basically beat everyone for that short like few months. But after I quit in the summer, uh, yeah, like I got surpassed basically. Like you
Mm,
were much better, Playco was much better because I didn't play during that summer of 2019.
yeah, yeah. Because the game was evolving really fast,
Yeah,
and like I was just playing, like I would play anyone. Like at that year in 2019, for me personally, it was the start of my dominance, basically, in the competitive scene. So I was just demolishing, anyone that is up against me. Like I wasn't using, I didn't start like using like until 2021 or 2022 when I started using Masked Man or Asuma or Chimaru. No, I was just playing Mod for Sage Donzo. That was my go team, you know.
yeah.
So I was not having a loss. So like after that, in the upward years or whatever, I started using Asuma. I started using Third Raikage or Chimaru or whatever. So people have a more chance of beating me. But back then, 2019, 2020, 2021, I was only using Madara, Sage, and Danzo, Sasuke the Last, whatever.
I
So
think
I was not having lost. Yeah.
also you were using the Stormtree Madara, Hashirama, and the last Sasuke, right?
Yeah, don't hear Madara, Hassan, Sasuke, yeah.
Also, I remember like when rules banned Sage or something, you would just go Stormtree Madara and whatever.
Yeah, some people. So basically, at that time, I was just making teams out of nowhere, and they still stick to people until right now. Like I still see people using them. So that's kind of fun in a way, because I didn't think much a lot when I started because I using them randomly based on out of my knowledge. Like out of my knowledge, I know that some three Madara and Hashirama and Sasuke the Last, they both have good jutsus, and they both have good first hit, and they both have good switch you hit, which give you an extended time in a sense, you know.
Yeah,
So that was basically my initial idea about each team that I made, you know. But to see people using them till right now, that's really uh, cool to see, I guess. So 2019, basically the highlight of the year was I lose very very less, and I win a lot more.
yeah.
So yeah,
And
that's
also
basically.
at that time, like in the second half of the year, I remember. Uh, I'm not sure if Playco was beating you or you were dominating Playco before you played on my account against him.
Uh,
But I just remember you just wanted to like destroy him. That's why you played on my account.
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
you
Basically,
didn't really need to do it. But if like if he lost to me again over and over, it would crush him. So that's why you did it.
yeah. So basically, I was using any chance basically to demolish the guy that basically disrespected me and whatever, and he was trying in every way to discredit me, and because he took it out of his way, in a sense, uh, to do whatever. I guess to discredit me and say I'm not trash or whatever. As I say this, bygones are bygones, guys. So there is nothing uh like there is nothing harsh here because I already did what I have to do. I already did whatever in the game. So bygones are bygones. But
I
I'm
mean, I
saying
mean,
what
I'm
happened.
gonna tell you one thing. Look, Ricardo
Yeah.
Level 9 has a really good way of putting this. He used to say, or I saw him a couple of times say, for every one FT Pleco won against you, you basically won 5, like 2020 or 21 onwards. Like it
Yeah.
was just it was that one-sided for you overall. Like I
Yeah.
know in the previous years, like 2018 and before, Pleco beat you
Yeah.
more, but
Yeah. That's a
I
fact.
would I would say overall you had the win lead against him. Like we
Yeah.
can't know for sure. No one is keeping the count for that, but
Yeah.
you most likely have
But
the
for the
win lead.
people who, but for the people who were there at the time, they know that every time I came across him, especially from 2019 upwards, I was just winning.
Yeah.
So
Also,
I, yeah. Go ahead.
um, would you like to share some, like, do you remember anything about what it was like when you played him on my account? Like those four
Okay.
consecutive first to fives? Because I don't think I ever asked you what it was like.
What it was like in what? Like, what do you mean?
Because, like, if I remember, you
Mm.
won 5-4, then 5-3, then 5-1, and 5-0. Basically, with each FD, it felt like he he felt defeated more and more. So
Okay. Yeah. So basically, to be honest with you, every time I play against him, uh, at my peak, whatever when I call it, he was having, as you said, a mental breakdown.
yeah,
Like he was like melting, you know, like he isn't fighting back in a way, you know,
yeah,
like he what's the word, like he didn't want to lose, okay, but he couldn't do much about it, so he started taking it in an excuses, you know, like whatever, it's lag, it's delay, you play in lag, you whatever, you. So
I'm
the
sorry,
first
but
guy,
he played in
actually,
lag more than you.
yeah. So that's for anyone that doesn't know. He used to play, like he used to dodge NA basically to play. Uh, and I don't want this podcast to be presented
I
at
mean, we're
this
we're
for
not
anyone.
really beefing with Pleiko or anything like
Yeah,
that. Like I'm
or
cool with
anyone,
him now.
or anyone for that matter, you
Yeah,
know, like we're just stating
uh,
what happened and how it happened, you
yeah,
know,
and
like
and
that was the thing. Like the reality was really ugly. I'm sorry, guys, the reality was really that ugly
yeah,
at
it
the
was
time.
ugly, and
Like,
I don't think us and Pleiko will ever have any kind of agreement about these things in the past because it is
exactly.
something that's not resolved. It will probably
Yeah.
never be resolved because
Yeah.
Pleiko to this day still hates Flake, and I mean I wish that
I don't
changed,
seem to
but
understand why. Like I don't seem to understand why he have that um, anger, animosity. I don't know what to
uh,
call it.
I mean,
Like,
I don't want to make this a different kind of podcast, but to
yeah,
summarize, I think it's simply because he just doesn't. He just hates you for like embarrassing him, for beating him, for taking his dreams away, if you will. Like, uh, if
like
you weren't
okay,
there,
okay,
he would have been top one, and he would have stayed there for a long time. I'm 100%
okay,
sure. You are the guy
okay,
that stopped it.
okay. I understand that. So basically, to answer your question, when you say, what did it feel to play in your account? As I said, he was just somehow melting,
Yeah,
and he didn't just want to fight back. So I knew at the time that we are not going to play again, and actually we didn't. Like since 2020, we didn't play anymore. Like he even changed. He quit the game and he made another game. I don't know much details about it. So to put it to rest,
Um,
that was the end of my whatever you want to call it thing with Playco.
okay, but
And
I can
yeah,
say I can say a couple of things here. First of all, you
yeah,
remember when we had that Momoshiki and Kinshiki DLC? We
yeah,
had a really terrible patch right after where
yeah,
switch moves were very inconsistent. Like it was very difficult to do them consistently, and that's when
yeah.
Playco was like, "Hey, this is terrible. I'm gonna make my own game," and um, it was pretty bad. I have to agree, because I remember like you were pretty much dominating me. Like after the second
Yeah,
half of 2019, you almost didn't
yeah,
lose an FD to me. But after that patch
yeah.
dropped, I started getting FDs on you just because
Okay.
switching was so difficult. Like at the beginning of the patch. So
And to comment on that, to put it to a context to everyone that is watching this or listening to this or whatever, every batch they dropped was basically destroying the game more.
yeah,
Like they were making the game way worse. You know, like every patch they released was basically telling us players to quit the game. And now I remember something. In 2016, Efferson Joe, or whatever his name is,
Afro Senju,
he's
yeah.
a known, yeah, he's a known YouTuber. He used to play Storm, so he came up with something called Fix Storm, and they were just saying Fix Storm. So that's why we had the patch in 2017. When they dropped the patch, which they asked for to fix Storm, which basically fixed Storm for them, they left the game. Like they weren't there. Like
Yeah.
players took it up on themselves to improve the game, to evolve the game, to get knowledge on the game. So full credit here is goes to the players themselves. Like for everyone that played from 2017 until now, uh, like really, they pretty much like invented the game in a sense. You know,
I mean,
like that's a fact because they were just destroying the game. They were making the game worse and worse and worse and worse and worse every time. Every time they drop a patch, switching is much harder.
honestly, this is another
Uh,
topic. Like it's a like it is something we can talk for hours probably,
yeah,
because
for
the
days.
mentality in this game, like mentality of the community in this game is pretty bad. Like it's a
Yeah,
very scrub kind of mentality where players find excuses for their losses instead of trying to adapt and learn and see what makes them lose. And that leads to patches like, such as these, because people recommend the worst things possible in some ways,
yeah, yeah,
and then we get a mess. And that's also what happened with Storm Connections, to be honest. But that's another topic. Um,
yeah. But it was left to the players to deal with that mess. Like
yeah,
these guys that were saying fix Zone 4, they weren't there. They just went to play other games. So we were left by our own to basically learn the game all over again.
I mean, same thing happened with 2020 patch. Like when
Yeah,
we had that Momoshiki patch, I think I'm sorry for naming him, but I think
yeah,
like Yamanaka's poison, and his
mm,
like I think the feedback from his community and him were taken into account, because I think he was, or yeah, he was at that time, maybe I'm not sure, like an ambassador still for Bandai, so his feedback was directly taken into account, and they kind of killed the switching because of that, because Yama is someone that was not a fan of switch jutsu at the time, like how it's resource free and how you can spam it. And yeah,
mm,
if you play them, you know, like with his style, he doesn't like to do jutsu switches, right? He just likes
yeah,
to throw shuriken, mash, run, like more rely on fundamental things. But
yeah. But to be honest here, I won't blame it on anyone
yeah, I'm
like
not
Yama or
blaming
whatever.
Yama individually. It's just like a community thing, because
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I'm not blaming anyone for saying, "Oh, fix that, fix this," because they cannot fix anything. The game is really like in its core, it's really bad, you know. So
I mean,
The
they
game is
could actually. I disagree with you. You know why? Because for
yeah.
example, the game mod Playco and his dev team made, it's actually
Mm,
pretty good. They fixed all the glitches and the issues that we have. Well,
okay.
we are
But what
freely
I'm saying
advertising
here
them
is,
right now, but
yeah,
that's
what
cool.
I'm saying is about CC2. They don't
Yeah,
give much,
yeah.
like
CC2 couldn't do it.
like
They
they
but
they
it
don't
could be
care
done.
basically.
Yeah.
So basically, if I were to go to give them a note about something, they will do the opposite. They are that stupid. I'm sure they are that stupid, like for real. They are that stupid. So players want the game to be enhanced, to be better, to be changed, whatever, but they don't understand it. Like they just don't play it. They just don't understand anything about the game. Like, for example, if I were to be a member of CC2, I would take out the Infinity Awakening. Like you would have one awakening per match. I would take out the dash cut, the Timari, the Mizukagi, these things because they are infinity basically. Like they don't stop. Like
Uh,
once you get the gauge, you cannot take out Surgeon. You
Actually,
cannot
these
take God.
things are, for example, taken out in the mod that Playco and his team made.
Okay,
Like
okay.
they're taken out. Um, like personally, I think it's very OP that you can awaken multiple times in a match too. Same with
Yeah,
the thing with Storm Gauge but
yeah.
like I wouldn't go out of my way and complain about switch moves being free, like no, not having
Yeah.
chakra cost, because I think it's not something that's really a problem. What's really a problem is people not knowing uh, when to strike, like when their
And
opponent runs out of switch
to be
cost.
to be honest here, I think switching without costing you any chakra, that is a benefit to the game. That is not a negative thing
Yeah, but people,
in the game
at least some
because
people think it's
because
a negative.
because if you say maybe let's say dash switching, I shouldn't get cost chakra when switching,
Yeah.
but jitsu switching, no, there's a lot of damage here can be made with the jitsu switching, so maybe I'll take chakra out of you. I won't take it as how to put it, like if you were to do a jitsu without switching, I'll
Yeah.
take a lot of chakra from you. But if you do it in switching, I'll for that skill I will reward you and giving you, like, for example, 50% of your chakra back, because that is a
50% for
skill.
that little bit of.
Yeah,
Okay.
because this is a skill. It takes skills to switch jitsu. It takes a skill to switch dash. So I should be rewarded with giving me, like,
Okay, okay. You're talking about something a little different. All right. Yeah,
yeah,
I think that could be an idea, because like it completely costing the like full resource like you're doing a normal jutsu. I think
yeah,
it's not a good idea, because
yeah. Because
like
the game basically is built on your chakra.
yeah, like
I'm
if you
not
take
going
that
to,
away,
like,
the game
yeah,
becomes much more basic than what it is. Like that's
yeah,
what happened with 2017 patch. That's the game we have, and when you
yeah,
take that away, game becomes very basic, and it becomes
yeah,
similar to connections.
yeah,
That doesn't sound fun to me. Um,
at all.
but yeah, uh, I think we're getting a little off topic, aren't we?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
2019. Who were the best players at that time? What do
Okay.
you think? I'm not just asking Asia at this point, because I
Yeah,
think
no,
you
at
had
this point,
experience with everyone.
yeah, basically everyone. I would have to say, uh, I would put, like, number one. I was still, like, depth at that year is pretty much gone
He
in a
was
sense.
gone. Yeah, he was kind
Yeah,
of
like,
done.
so to take him out of the equation due to inactivity, I would say top one was Playco.
No,
Top two,
2019. I think you were
yeah. So, no, but
2019.
I'm not ranking myself here.
Okay.
I'm putting, yeah, I'm not ranking myself here.
All right.
I would say maybe top one was Playco. Top two, that is hard because, like, we had a lot of good players. I would say maybe Mm, that is tough.
I
That
mean,
is actually tough.
I
I would
mean,
say to credit the first half of 2019, I would have to put you in top two.
I think you
And
can put me because I still beat everyone in EU at that time,
yeah,
and
like
I beat
yeah, yeah,
everyone
but
in NA
because
except Playco.
yeah,
So,
like in 2019, yeah, I would have to give you number two. Number three, I would say I don't know,
oh,
maybe Giza. I don't know.
uh,
Oh,
Giza was still playing one sport.
I don't know actually. Like I have
No.
no
First
one.
half he was still playing one sport. Second half, I think that's when he started to go full team. It took him a
Oh,
while. Like he
okay.
was, um, like he just didn't give up on Rinnegan Sasuke Pain. I don't know why. Yeah. Um,
Okay.
that's another topic though. Yeah,
How about you?
for me, I have to say, well, it's pretty clear cut actually. It would be you, then it would be Playco. Like if we're looking at the year overall, I can only
Yeah.
put myself ahead in the first half, and I think I would put myself top three there. I really
Okay.
don't have any other name. Um,
That's fair.
but 2020 was such a bad year because of the patch. Like at the start, it was so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Um, like I was the best in EU at that time, but strangely enough, that was the year iPal shined in NA.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Because people couldn't switch. So,
Yeah.
like the guy that would lose to Playco Mask very consistently, like very hard, like 10-5, 10-4, or even worse. He started
Yeah.
like going head head on, like 10-9, 10-8, all the time,
Yeah. Yeah.
just because they couldn't switch well. And um, I like that time, iPal like respect to him because like he beat me like 2 times.
Mm.
I don't wanna complain about the patch too much because sure patch was a thing and I think I would have beaten him without that patch, but still,
Yeah.
like my neutral game was lacking, I have to say, because I
Yeah.
uh yeah, he did a good job and he beat Rage, he beat Giza, he did pretty good, but
Mm.
um once that patch was gone, he stopped FDing.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish he did because yeah, I would have loved to do a rematch, but yeah, he
You
never FD
probably
after that.
cannot get rematches. You probably cannot get rematches against an A unless you are an A.
I
That's
mean,
basically the whole point.
yeah,
Like their community is
unless
kind of
Play unless
divided.
it's Playco, no, you're not getting a rematch.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I have to say 2020 was um
Very weird. Kind of
first
weird.
half of it was weird because until September we had that bad patch,
Yeah.
and I think it's a period of time we should kind of forget. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
It was really bad. Like
Yeah.
game just became terrible. Like I remember Dept beating Playco like 10-4 or something. Playco was just like, hey, okay, I'm gonna quit now. Bye. Because he didn't play at that time anymore. Like he just
Yeah. Yeah.
he's
He was
yeah
just
he
not
stayed
done.
away. He only played Dept
Yeah.
and um, what else? Do you remember any Asia players being active at that time other
I
than
cannot
you?
seem to
Okay,
remember. But when was Bring Back Storm tournament? Was it 2019 or 2020?
2020.
2020. Yeah, that main basically was the major event back
Oh,
then,
oh.
and it was
Yeah, it was
yeah,
during
it
that
was my
bad patch too. It was not after the September patch. It was in the first half.
yeah, like
Okay.
it was
Oh,
the it
yeah, we have to
was the
talk about it.
first tournament that I yeah, it was the first tournament that I won.
Hmm.
So I met Blake Hill at the final. I think I was winning 4-1 or something like that, and he came back and it became 4-4, and I won 5-4. That was basically the start of me winning tournaments. I think it was the first tournament that I won. I'm not sure, but I had sponsor matches in 2020. It's worth mentioning.
Listen, we joined tournaments before then. Like in 19
Yeah,
and 18, we joined tournaments together. Like we had like 3v3
yeah,
tournaments or something, but we didn't
yeah.
win those. But
Yeah,
yes,
basically that was my first, I think, tournament. Like you won in 2018, yeah? Like you won a tournament in
yeah.
2018. Yeah. But for me, that was probably the first. If I correctly remember, it was the first tournament that I won.
I think you're right. That was the first, and it was 5-4 in the finals for you. You were
Yeah,
against Placo, and I remember
yeah.
what he said in chat after you won. FlakeGem is a sand monkey, and
Oh,
well, yeah,
dude.
that's pretty racist, but
Yeah. He didn't sleep that day. I'm pretty sure. Like he had, he,
yeah,
like let's keep it on that. Like
but I
it's just a game,
I
and this is me talking to everyone that is listening to this. Guys, this is just a game. Enjoy your time playing the game. If you lose, learn. Like there is nothing called win or lose. There is something called win and learn. So do not take it out of your way. Like now I remember something
yeah.
when you said that. He said something else basically. Like I basically went against him at some point in 2020, and I played him in the first 10, and I basically demolished him. Like it was an account called Abu Saleh.
Oh, I
It's
remember. Yeah,
Spanish.
you made
Yeah,
it for C Rock, right? If I remember.
yeah.
Okay.
So I beat him like something 10-2, 10-3 something, and he went up against my religion, and I was like, "Does game take you that far? Like, does game take you to talk about my
Like he was
religion?"
hating on Islam.
Yeah, like he was basically talking about Islam,
Okay.
and I was like, I didn't think, like, I didn't take offense to it because I'm not judging him, but he's not a person that I would take his opinion on anything in life. To be honest, like I would only put him in a circle with there's a video game, and I'll just take his opinion on that. Like anything life related, I won't take someone like that to tell me about my religion or tell me
Or
sand
to live
monkey
your life.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like like someone like that have been uh, like everyone knows they have been trying to be the best player since Storm 3, and he couldn't make his way. That is a hurdle to him to overcome. That is a burden he can't overcome. So I hope he finds his peace. I hope he is doing well playing the game right now. But he took
He's
it
not
that
really
far
playing.
actually.
Uh,
Okay,
well, he's
whatever,
not playing connections. I mean.
whatever.
But yeah. Anyway, that's not important. Um,
Yeah,
on this topic, I have to say, it's really disgusting. But Storm community is a place where it's like a Call of Duty session, right? Where people are
yeah,
very racist, like
yeah,
openly racist, even.
yeah,
Um, I find it really disgusting because not only is it common, also players don't really care about this. Like they're like,
yeah.
hey, we can't do anything. It's just the way it is. People are racist
Yeah.
here. Um,
The
people are
thing is, they know they will get away with it.
yeah,
Like nobody's going to shame them because it's the common thing here.
yeah,
Like okay, I admit nobody have mentioned my religion beside him like until now. Like out of the 7 years, 6 years I played in Stone 4, nobody have mentioned my religion beside him.
hmm,
That how personal it was for him, basically. But still, like they would talk about you, your personality, whatever, whatever. They would just trash you.
yeah,
That's the thing in Stone 4 community.
yeah. That's the
So yeah,
thing with Storm community in general. It was like, oh, if they can't beat you on the game, then they're gonna trash you and try to feel like they're superior to you in everything
yeah,
else. Like, oh, I have a better life than you. I have a better job than you. I make more money than you. I have a more beautiful wife than you. Blah blah blah. Like,
which is
just
really
nonsense.
irrelevant.
Yeah,
Like irrelevant. Like For example, for me, it's a known thing that when I play FTs, at the mid FT or the first FT, I would say I would go to pray. So you know that I am in a way a strict Muslim. So I would stop playing the FTs and go pray and then come back.
Yeah.
It's a known thing. You know that personally. Yeah, like a lot of times you
Yeah,
play
it
FTs
happened too much, and
like I would tell you I'll go to pray and come. So
yeah,
you know that my religion is something you
that
shouldn't be
comes
talking
first.
about.
Yeah, also
Yeah,
that.
like but still he went after that. So that's kind of weird. Like that's how personal it was for someone not taking a loss. So yeah,
Yeah.
like you
Uh,
don't talk about these things.
yeah. I mean, you're right. Like this is something. This is a line we as
We just don't
players
cross.
shouldn't cross. Yes. Like it's
Yeah,
just unacceptable. But um,
I probably should have
I
let
mean,
him win some of that piece, to be honest with you. Like right now, when I think about it, like later of the years, like I started letting people win against me in FTs. I probably should have let him win some of the FTs against me, to be honest, because he would like he would be a little bit nicer, to be honest. Like I should have probably like if I go back in time, I'll probably just let him win some of the FTs
but
because I don't mind. Like I really don't mind. Like when I play against people, and you know this for a fact, yeah. Sometimes I let them win because I know if they lose,
you've been doing that after 2020, basically.
yeah. Like if I keep on winning, they will just hate you more. That's the thing, and I'm not getting anything out of the first attempt. Like I had enough winning first attempts. Like if there was a record showing you how many FTs I won, like I maybe 1,000. I don't know. Like I kept on winning FTs, and I gained nothing out of it. But when it comes to a sponsor match or a sponsor tournament or whatever, okay, then I should probably focus on winning.
Yeah, that is a
But FTs
different
didn't
matter.
like after 2020, FTs didn't mean a lot to me, to be honest. Like the run I had in 2020 and 2019, 2020, that was like pretty much enough for me.
All
Like
right.
you keep
Um,
on winning. So yeah, it was just dull at the time.
I mean, I mean, I get you. I understand you. Like I didn't have like I wasn't at the top like you for a long time or something, but I understand the feeling where you're like you feel nothing from winning from an FT, because I had that
Yeah,
myself. Like I would just play guys back to back, win
yeah,
every single time. It's like you feel nothing. You don't feel any
yeah,
joy or happiness that
yeah,
comes with winning. Um,
yeah. So
and
you started playing FTs like they were player matches, basically PMs.
uh, I mean, yeah, I had that kind of period, like where I would just
Yeah.
play everyone in EU back to back. I would just be like, hey, play me. Just start a stream, and they would just line up basically.
Mm.
But I think we're getting a little off the track here.
Yeah, yeah.
So in
Because in
2000,
2020,
yeah,
there is not much to say. Basically, the batch ruined the whole year. To be honest,
but I have to
like
ask
there is,
you. Um,
yeah,
okay, other than you and Playco, uh, I guess you can mention me. Oh, you have to mention iPal for the first half too. Other than those names, is there anyone else you would mention?
yeah. Basically, that was the year that Giza arrived, in a sense.
Yeah,
Like it,
I actually
yeah,
remember. Yeah, we should talk
yeah,
about that
like
because
yeah, like Giza was more of a, I don't want to say whatever. Okay, so he was not taking his losses well, basically. So in 2020, no, he started to basically play better. Also, Yukino always have this different play style from anyone. So I would like to put him because he's not the best player. He's not the best in the year. He's maybe not even top three. But I enjoy my sessions with him. Like
he
I
would
really
do
put
different
enjoyment.
things, right? He would do things that no
Yeah,
one else does. I get what
yeah,
you
he
mean.
would. Yeah, yeah. Like he would use Puppet. Like who used Puppets in 2020? No, no one was using Puppet
Yeah,
besides
but
him.
honestly, my opinion of Yukino is like nothing personal. I just really hated the way he used his resources. Sure, no one else played like him, but also no one else wasted his resources like him. And
Okay.
and I really I appreciate the uniqueness that he has, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I find it very disappointing that he doesn't know how to control it. Because if he could, he
Yeah. He
actually
would.
has
He
potential
would.
to be something else,
Yeah.
but he never could
Yeah.
do it.
But he has that mentality problem, to be honest, because even if I say good things about him, he maybe will not respond in good things about me, to be honest, because he also always was trashing me. Like he would text me messages, "You were nothing in some tree. You were nothing in Revolution. You were nothing in blah blah blah."
That's so
And
funny
I'm
because he
like,
was nothing in
yeah,
Storm 3 or Revolution 2.
like he was like, "Oh, we'll see you in the next some game. You will be nothing." And I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't understand that. Like I really don't understand that, to be honest. But I still him, Sawada. Maybe those are the names,
Oh,
not the names that you're looking for
uh,
in this conversation.
I mean,
But
I'm sorry,
I
but
would
I
like,
wouldn't mention Sawad. Like
okay, I
not
understand.
hating, but he
Yeah, I
he was
understand.
a
I
player
understand.
that played for fun, and
Yeah, I understand.
like whenever I played him, it was like this guy is not trying to win. He's just playing.
Okay.
It felt
Well,
like
let me
PM
tell you this.
Stormy.
Let me tell you this. Let me
Okay.
tell you this. So basically, I appreciate everyone who like would say that I'm top one and so on for and I'm the best player in the game and whatever. Like I appreciate this, and I know this for a fact that I've been the most dominant player in the game. I did win all basically most of my FTs. I won basically most of the tournaments that I was in. Thank you for that. But let me tell you this: I mostly learned new stuff from Yukino, Sawada, Django. These guys, not the competitive.
Can you say the three names again? Sawada, Django, and
Sawada, Django, and Yukino.
oh, okay.
Like I learned more from them than playing top players. You know why? Top players always play the same thing, the same characters, the same meta.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is nothing new. We are already familiar with Dashkas, Tamari, Kaguya, Yugito, Neji, Madara, Dango, whatever. But these guys would give you a different perspective, in a sense, to the game. Like, oh, why didn't I think of that? You know,
I
for
mean,
example.
um,
So,
I
yeah,
agree with you, because Sawada and Yukino, the thing with them is they basically tried to play the game different, and they would bring something different to the table like you did
yeah,
after 2022. But what I hate about them is that they just don't have the mentality to win, but they would still get toxic at times when they're not trying to
yeah.
win, which I don't understand. Why are you being toxic if you're not
I
trying to
mean,
win?
I mean, Sawada's cool to be honest, but Yukino is like overall Sawada doesn't have beef with anyone. Like he's a nice guy. Maybe was in 2016, 2017
He
when he
had
was a
beef.
bit younger.
He had some beef with us, but yeah, it's in
Yeah,
the past. He stopped it basically.
like, but basically, like overall, Yukino is kind of toxic in a way,
Yeah.
you know. But overall, I'm not talking about their behavior with me or whatever. But what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying is their playstyle was different, and when they use something that I view okay, when I see it okay, they don't know the potential of what they did. So I go and get that from them and learn how they did it, and then just take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
So
I
that's
agree with you, and also I have to say about Django, it's a shame that Django stopped competing. Like he just stopped doing FTs from 2017 onwards, because he was, as you said earlier, he was special as a player. Like
yeah,
he could have been
yeah,
something else, but he never
yeah,
really realized that potential. Because like when I played him after 2020, like I didn't play the game much as previous years, but 2021,
yeah,
22, 23, when I played him, I actually became really impressed with how he plays because
Yeah.
nobody switches as well as he does and adapts as well as he does in EU actually. Like he's pretty skilled, more skilled than any other EU player. That's actually crazy because I used to
Yeah.
think like, oh, I guess Giza is better. Oh, no, I think Rikido Itachi is better. Oh, I don't know, some other name, Drix, whatever. But no, I think Django is probably the most skilled one at the end of the day. He just didn't beat FDs. Um, okay,
and,
2020.
and to comment and to comment on that,
Yeah,
just to comment on it very playfully, like I would say, I actually think that we took it upon ourselves to make a competitive scene where was there is nothing basically.
yeah,
Like we basically played for several years for nothing. You know, there was no money, nothing is encouraging you. Basically, there was no clan battles, whatever. So people like Django, uh, maybe he was just not motivated enough in a sense.
yeah.
That makes like that makes whatever. Like he
It
wasn't
makes sense
motivated enough.
because
Yeah, like
but it's not that
go
simple
ahead.
because for him, I talked with him personally. He said it's not only about motivation. Yeah, motivation is a thing, but the more important thing for him is that FDs give him stress, and he doesn't want to deal
Yeah,
with that stress unless he's gonna get paid for it. Like that's his
and
mentality.
also it's not a stress that you would have to go to deal with in the normal circumstances, because when you lose, people trashes you
Yeah.
like in Storm. That you're just trash. Like everyone tells you you're trash, whatever. Like that's the mentality.
Hmm.
There is no mentality such as in Tekken, for example. In Tekken, you lose, you win, GG's, good games. You play the next match and you try to win it. Like now you play Tekken, as I see in your channel, yeah?
I've played a little. Yeah, I've been playing for him.
Okay, did anyone message you out of nowhere? Like, did you have these kind of toxic
I
messages?
haven't had, but I've seen it with my friends. Like they just have toxic people message them for losing on ranked. It
Okay,
happens too, but not
how
as often.
often does it happen? How often does it happen?
It's much less than Storm.
That's the thing. So, why this mentality is you have it in Tekken and you don't have it in Naruto? Like, they both are video games. Okay, they are very different. Like Tekken is way more competitive, way more like
Popular.
you need to have a lot of knowledge, experience, whatever.
Yeah.
But still, it should be the opposite actually, because we are a small community. We know everyone. We should be like I won't say friends. We don't have to be all of us. We need to be friends. No, but there should be say respect. There's a respect, and there's we don't have it. Like we don't have respect, especially in the early years. We didn't have any of that. Like you don't have it. We don't have that.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's a thing. That's a thing.
I wish we had a different type of community where people, respected each other and were cool with each other. But for some reason, ego comes into play in this community a lot, and with ego comes toxicity, and
Yeah.
then people dodge each other, talk trash, all of those things. Um, okay, let's not get off track. Let's get back to it.
Yeah.
2020. Uh, okay, we talked about 2020. I have to say one last thing about 2020. After the first
Yeah.
half, I basically stopped playing the game full time. Like I played like I don't know 2 3 months a year. At that
Hmm.
after that point, I played it much less. So every time I would come back, the first month I'm rusty. Then the other 2 months, like I'm playing, but it's not making me improve much. And then
Okay.
the rest of the year I'm just gone. That's
Hmm.
what I did, and I have to say at the end of that year, Geza and also Ridge, these two, like started becoming good.
Yeah.
Like Geza most of all, of course, because like
Yeah.
I would say by 2021 he basically surpassed me. Like early 2021, he was just better than me. But
Mm.
um, rest of the EU, they were not better than me at that year. They still needed to
Yeah.
catch up because yeah, I was still beating all of them without really trying. But Geza was like, okay, he was dodging me. He would just do one FD then run away. Like,
Mm.
you know how it is. Like one FD, don't play again for months. Uh,
That's a common thing.
yeah. But but other than that, um, ooh, well, I have a lot to say. But do you remember Ibra?
April. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I
you
think
remember that guy from NA, right? You
Yeah,
played
yeah, I
him
know.
on
Yeah.
2020, right?
I I don't seem to remember, to be honest with
I
you.
think it was
But I
2020.
remember him. Yeah, yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
Okay, so I think you played him in a PM or something like that, and he left against you after it was 4-0 for you, and basically, you know, this whole beef that I've been having with him. Well, not just me, Depth too. Do
Hmm.
you know? Do you remember anything about that? Also, you
To
too,
be
basically,
to
because
be honest with you, like the only thing that I remember, like I don't remember it completely, but the only thing that I remember about that topic is, he basically wanted to play me,
yes,
and we played, and from what I know, like from what I seem to remember from Depth, what Depth was saying to me, that he was just trying to play me and copy my playstyle and whatever.
yeah,
So I was playing that BM session basically to tell him that he cannot copy my playstyle in a way, you know.
yeah, making
So
a
I
statement.
defeated. Yeah. So basically, I beat him really bad, and he just got off on me for some reason. I don't know what I said. Maybe I was on the wrong in this one or whatever. But something happened between us, and he just didn't play again, whatever.
All right,
So yeah.
bro. Like I want to talk about this one because some people are like, "Hey, Jal, what's your problem with Ibra? What's wrong?" I just want to mention this because basically he didn't play Storm 4 until like 2018, and when he came to the game, well, he played all Storm games before, like, and he was like a top player in them. He would always come
Okay.
back at the last months of the game, and then beat everyone and be like, "Yay, I'm the best," which is cool,
Mm.
but not really impressive considering people just become inactive at that time. And he, I think, tried to do the same thing with Storm 4, but it didn't work out, at least for 2 years, because he just lost to like he wouldn't really beat anyone. He would just play in PMs and then just say, "Oh, I'm better than Mask, I'm better than Playco," but never really
Mm.
FD them for I don't know
But
100
he was
years.
winning like BM sessions with them.
He, he wasn't really PMing them either. He was
Oh,
playing PMs with people. He wasn't really
okay.
FDing people, just PMs, just talking in parties, claiming he's better. And
Okay.
um, the reason why we had a beef with him is simply because he copied the teams you and that been using. Okay, like he copied
Okay.
the Hashi S3 Madara and the last Sasuke, and he copied Sage Danzo in Pain.
Okay.
And he would deny that he copied those teams. But we know that he copied them because first of all, there is literally no gameplay of anyone ever using Sage and Danzo together before we had a stream on my channel where while you were uh no, I'm sorry, that's not true. Because I think Depth used it against Mask, right?
What was it?
The Sage Danzo team, Depth used it against Mask.
I don't seem to remember, to be honest.
Okay. I don't remember either, but I think he did.
Yeah.
Anyway, if it's not the first time, I think the first time should be on my channel. And I'm pretty sure that's when he first saw those teams. Like I'm sure he copied it from you or Depth or both of you. And he's been denying that, and he's been saying, "No, those are actually my teams, and Flake and Depth copied from me." That's been his claim.
Oh,
which is like, which is the reason I'm like, why are you even lying? Like, why? Why do you want to claim credit for something so pointless? That's the whole reason.
okay. To be honest, I don't remember anything
Yeah,
about
we
this
never
guy
talked
because he
about
was,
this. But
yeah,
I
because,
talked with Depth about it, and he was like, okay,
yeah, like
because he saw it
for
himself.
me, yeah, like for me, I actually do not know the guy that much. The only thing that I know that I just told you,
Yeah.
like Depth was saying not lose to him and whatever. That was like fine, no problem. And that's that. That's basically it. And I also remember someone else from NA that was texting me a lot on WhatsApp or whatever. He was just talking about gay. I don't remember his name.
I know who
It
you're
was,
talking about. I think you're talking about
I don't
Dom
remember him.
Singularity, right? You're talking
Yeah,
about.
I think so.
Okay,
Like he
okay.
was like
Well,
he insisted he would take my number on WhatsApp and he was just texting me. What
yeah.
do you think is better? Like I eventually, I'm sorry if he's listening to this, but eventually I was tired and exhausted of his whatever small talks, and I had to block him. To be honest, like he was just like he was just no, I'm dead serious, you know. Like at the time he was just texting me saying, "What do you think is better? This is better. This is better." I was like, he keep on saying this, but he's not playing. You know, he's not playing FTs. He just want to talk. You know, like he's
Yeah.
not trying to be one
I
of the
mean,
best players. I don't see him playing anyone.
I don't
So
wanna
I was like,
talk bad, but basically his thing is like he just wants to figure out what's the best thing to do in the game. Like he wants to find
yeah,
the most effective thing, and he doesn't want to do it by playing himself and putting in the time because, well,
oh,
the game makes him mad, so he just wants to talk to you about it.
okay.
Um, I mean, he
That's
got in.
all.
I think he got in contact with you because of me. I'm sorry about that. Um,
I actually don't seem to remember who he was or whatever, but I cannot forget how he was like bugging me. Like
okay.
he would
Well,
text me
like
for
I said,
hours.
I'm sorry that it was bothering you like this. I had no idea, by the way.
Yeah.
Cause yeah.
No worries, man. No worries. Bro,
Um,
that was a long time ago.
yeah, but like he's not a bad guy. He's just really, let's say, when he's fixated or focused on something, he goes after it. That's all. That's why he was annoying
Oh,
you. Yeah.
okay.
Um. Anyway, oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
All
Gotcha.
right. Uh, yeah, 2021. Then we can look at 2021. What do you think?
I
I
actually, yeah, go ahead.
You remember this like starting from late 2020, Playco started streaming on Twitch very often, and he continued that in 2021 as well. And he would just FD everyone, right? And he would FD you a lot sometimes.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is the time period where you beat him. I think the most. Yeah, like
Yeah.
this is the time period you had most of your wins against him. And
Yeah.
too bad most of those FDs are gone because
Yeah.
well, some of those were nasty. Anyway, um, what do you
I
think about
actually
that time?
I actually saw him commenting randomly on one of the FTs, and like Skyness hosted it, sponsored the match between me and him, and he was like saying you are stealing the match or whatever on YouTube, and he tried to ban it or whatever. I remember Skyness telling me that he was taking off an FT that was on YouTube that I beat him in, and
Uh,
he was trying to take it off YouTube.
I remember this.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's the for the people that wants to see my FTs against Playco or whatever. Like you don't have a lot of them here on YouTube because he would just take them off. Like he would just report that they were stealing from his Twitch stream or whatever. So yeah, that's about that. What I remember of 2020, to be honest, 2020 and 2022, they
21.
were pretty. 2021, they were really similar
Mm-hmm.
for me. Like
Yeah.
I kept doing the same things. However, the difference was that Skynest came and he was like really generous with me in a sense. Like he was saying that I'm the best player, and he wanted to host matches. Me, I think that was, I don't know, late 2021 or mid 2021. I don't seem to, but that was when Skynet came with the sponsor matches and whatever.
I
And
remember like when he first came, I was thinking it's M34, but it's not.
yeah, like basically, I don't know how I got introduced to him, whatever, but like we started talking. He was saying, "You are the best player, and I like your play style and whatever." And I would host matches for you. I was like, "That this is very nice." Like I've been playing for I don't know how long for free. So for someone to think they would put money for me to play in their tournaments or matches or wherever, that is like really cool to see.
That's the best thing you can
Yeah.
hope for.
Yeah. Like so I started playing more sponsor matches, tournaments like that. This is the period from 2021 until maybe 2023, I think, whatever. Like this is the period where I won most of my tournaments and money matches. Like basically, uh, that time was, how I can put it. Like that was basically the downfall of FlakeGem, because I was winning so much and it was so exhausting. Like I'm a person that loves to deal with pressure. Like I don't mind pressure. I've been dealing with pressure since I started in Zone 4 community. So I don't mind it. But it was a lot of hours to play, And I was
Yeah,
like I took it upon myself to say I'm not that stupid to play 12 to 13 hours just to win $200 or whatever. Like I was like, no, like this is really stupid of me. Like I'm wasting all of these hours just to play a tournament and win it. Like I already have enough tournaments. I already have enough sponsor matches, FTs, whatever. I don't need to do it. So
I mean, I have to tell
from
you though, like
yeah,
$200 for, I don't know, let's say 10 hours or something. It's not
yeah.
really bad, but you could do better with your time. You're right.
But I'm not saying it's bad. It's something bad, but
You could earn more, yeah.
the thing, the thing was, uh,
Or you could be less
I was just
stressful and earn
I was playing
the
a
same.
lot. Like there was a lot of hours. You know,
Hmm.
like once I finish a tournament, for example, I cannot take a break because there will be another tournament next Saturday or whatever. So I should be playing the next few days so that my touch doesn't go away. You know.
Yeah.
So I was just doing that, and I'm just waiting for the next Saturday. Next Saturday come, and I play a tournament, and then I win, or sponsor match or whatever, 2v2, whatever. I just win, and then so it kept on happening. So I was like, I just got bored, to be honest. Like it was boring. Like winning doesn't, like, I don't have any feelings when I win. Even if I win money, it doesn't, like didn't care, to be honest.
Yeah.
It was boring. It was really boring. So 2022 was basically when I started changing my style to play low tier characters and introducing different characters to the community and saying, guys, you have this and you have that.
I mean, I get why you did it and everything, but I think it's correct when you say it's like the downfall of Flake Gym, because the moment you started doing that was like the moment you kind of uh, had enough of the game.
Mm,
Like you lost your passion for the game, basically. I think.
yeah, basically, that's it. Like, you know, there is always a challenge for me and someone. Like, I wanted to beat that guy. Then I just beat that guy 10 times. It's boring. Then I go beat that guy 10 times and it's boring. And then there is, to be honest, and I'm saying this with all due respect to everyone, there was no equal to me because Depth have left the game. He quit the game basically. He's not playing anymore. He doesn't enjoy playing the game anymore. Like I would play PM sessions with him, but he's not as serious, not as focused. He's just So I was like, okay, I'll do the same. And then I started to say, okay, what I'm gaining here, like what I'm doing here, basically. Like I'm not, how to put this? Okay, I did not play low tier characters for anyone. I played it for myself to enjoy the game, to give myself uh, a space to enjoy the game because it's boring to just play Madara Danzo and Pain, Sasuke, whatever, and just win, win, win. It became really boring. So I started with Masked Man, Asuma, Chimaru, wherever.
Oh, your mic is off.
Sorry. Yeah. So as I was saying, uh,
You started with Maskman or
yeah,
Orochimaru or whatever, and
I started playing Masked Man, Asuma, Kazukagi, Raikage, second Raikage, or third Raikage, whatever. Started to, I wanted to feel a bit challenged in a way, you know, because it's really boring just me playing NFT and playing Madra Donzo, and I know the scenario. Like I know what is going to happen. Like I know once I pick Madra Donzo and Pain or Sasuke, I'll just come to a certain point and then just defeat the guy, and then that's it. So I started playing FTs with low tier characters. There was a bit of a challenge there, so it became a kind of fun. I still win most of the FTs with them low character tiers, but it's not as easy as it was in Madara and Danzo. So I started playing tournaments with them, like FTs with them. I even played with Road to Boruto. Played with Tobirama. Who else? Like they were basically my main characters. Like I was not using Madara Danzo anymore because it's boring. To be honest, like it was that boring. So to summarize the time from 2021 for me until 20 maybe 23, I just became like not playing as serious anymore. It was just boring, to be honest. Like it was that boring to me. So there is not much for me to say about
that time
those
period.
years. Beside, yeah, beside that, I won uh 95% of the my matches that I played in. That I maybe in 2022 we saw the rise of the Lion Rage. Like
I,
Rage
I
was,
I think it. You could even say 2021 because that's the
yeah,
time he started getting FT wins on Geza. He was beating every
yeah,
French like consistently too. You
yeah,
could you could
and that's something. Yeah, and that's something to comment on. Not to interrupt you.
yeah.
Rage was playing much different than anyone else. He's basically was more of my style.
Yes.
So he was really offensive and beating everyone. So when you watch Rage FTs, it's really fun. Like it's not your typical EUFT, you know.
Yeah. And
Rage like added that style of play style of him and the EU. So yeah,
and the thing about Rage is I've I've been, let's say, in 2020 we played, and he just wanted to play me every single day, rematch, 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 and we would keep playing, and I would do it. But he's like he eventually got better. He started copying the teams, copying the strategies, and he made it better in his own way. And like I
yeah,
would
that's
say,
correct.
I would say he copied some of the defense from me
Yeah,
and copied the teams, and then for some reason, I don't know when or how, he started copying things from you. Like he would just straight up have those moves, like offensive moves, same as you.
yeah. And to be honest, to comment on that, like when I see Rage sometimes back in those years, he was playing like I was playing, like it was me who's playing. It's not Rage. That how good he was, you know. Like he was really that good.
Yeah, I mean, At only problem with Ridge for me is that he's not consistent and he's very stubborn to continue
Yeah,
playing the way he does. So he would end up losing to people
he shouldn't be losing to.
yeah, like for example, like no disrespect to Rikuda level 9, he's a pretty good player, but I think when
He,
it comes to like switching and whatnot, Ridge is like he shouldn't really be losing, but he loses,
mm,
and he lost like out like 20 FDs in a row, just because he insisted on beating Dash Cut with his playstyle.
yeah.
Like he could
And to
have
be
done
fair,
something else, but he didn't.
like dash cuts are not that easy to beat. Like dash cut, when, like for me example, when I went against dash cut, like the peak of dash cut basically Choji was Playco. To give him credit, like he uses dash cut like no one else,
Yeah,
especially with his Yugito and Pain. Like that was his team. Like he before used BTS Gara, like Yugito, BTS Gara and Pain. And once that team got defeated, he changed BTS Gara to Choji, which gave him the Awakening, which is really, really, really good. Like you're basically against a Susano when Choji is an Awakening. Brought to Boruto Choji. And Dash Cut, I had to utilize the Awakening like never before, to be honest. And it was exhausting to some point. Like it was really exhausting to some point because Dash Cut doesn't go away. He doesn't go away. Like I would switch Jutsu and then have hold my dash so that the Choji come out and then he got thrown by the Jitsu. 3 seconds later, Choji is coming back up. So it was no use, to be honest.
yeah. I mean there's that, and also we kind of figured out how Temari is not so good, right?
Yeah,
We,
yeah,
we know how to deal with her, because if you pick things like, I don't know, PTS Gara or Pain or Danzo, these characters have things that like truly counter her, and also in neutral game, if you sub late, etc., you can shut her down. Like you can hit her, and that puts her out for some time, and that's how you
yeah.
would deal with her basically. So
And she's not that effective when you switch a lot.
yeah.
Yeah,
Also, in
li-
stage corners, she always gets hit automatically too,
yeah.
and
Like, like,
yeah, that made dash cut the only effective thing.
yeah, like the dash cuts is just by the game rules. It's something really hard to defeat,
Yeah.
especially when you combine it with something like Yugito. Like Yugito is very flexible. She's really fast. She have one of the best smashes in the game, and she definitely have top 3 tilts in the game
Hmm.
because of the range of the tilt, the strike back, the recovery, whatever. So when you combine that with dash cuts, you just have an OP team. So, like when Rage was thinking that he can defeat Rikido without utilizing Madara Danzo, whatever, and just utilizing an Awakening, whatever, the game doesn't help you. You cannot defeat them with some 3 Madara. Like I'm sorry, you cannot. Like I dearly love playing Storm 3 Madara, but you cannot defeat Choji. It's impossible, basically, unless you are using Madara Danzo, and I don't know, Pain, Sasuke Last, whatever.
I think Sasuke the Last is probably the better. No, 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 it's not. I'm sorry, because Yugito mashes the Susanoo Awakening, so it's not so good.
Yeah,
But
but however, mm,
If not
yeah.
Yugito, I think Sasuke the Last is generally the best choice. Like that's
how
what I
I
think.
disagree on that because uh,
No, 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 not
when
for
I had
dash
this,
cut. I'm sorry. Like in
yeah,
general sense, like if you don't know
yeah.
what your opponent is gonna pick and you're just gonna go serious, just go Sasuke. That's like the general thing.
Also against Yugito, the Susanoo helped me tremendously because when she have that flip of the tilt,
Yes.
Susanoo would catch her mid-air.
Mm-hmm.
And once he catches her mid-air, it's not a problem with Susanoo because he just keep on hitting her mid-air. So it was something that is helping a lot, to be honest, with the Susanoo. However, once she gets her tilt up against Susano basically is not so useless because it's so big and her tilt range covers basically half of the map. So you need to switch, go to Donzo or Sage or whatever. By
Yeah,
the way,
like it
that's
worked
that's
both
something
ways basically.
that's something maybe some players wants to know, and I got asked quite frequently.
What?
They ask if what I think is better, Pain or Sasuke the Last with Madara Danzo, which I
Okay.
prefer more.
I mean, to if you ask me, I just said it
Mm,
earlier. To me, like generally, if your opponent is not gonna go Dashka Temari or something like that, like if they're gonna switch against you, I just prefer to go Sasuke the last, even though it's not really my best team. I feel like
yeah.
it feels better to me. Um, but if
Mm,
I know what they're picking specifically, I want to go uh, PTS Gara or Pain,
okay.
like depending on what they have. What
For
what
me
about you?
personally, for me personally, the the thing is, I first started using Sasuke the Last, then I moved to Pain
Hmm.
because now I have Madara Sage as my main. Basically, most of the time I control with Madara. But once I switch, I started having this idea of switch. Like basically, I'm hitting someone, then he sub. I would dash and then switch and then tilt with Danzo or Pain. Their tilt or this move specifically have helped me tremendously to win a lot of FTs. But with Sasuke the Last, his tilt is really slow, kind of useless. So I was like, no, I'm going to use Pain more often than using Sasuke the Last. That when I dropped basically Sasuke the Last and started using Pain more uh, frequently. Yeah,
Um, oh also I just remembered. Yeah, like
yeah,
these three are the like top three picks as the third for Sage Danzo, right? But you
yeah,
remember there were times we would go Naruto the last instead of them.
yeah.
Like especially
Because
you remember
yeah, go
in
ahead.
that Momoshiki patch, like I
Yeah,
specifically remember us going Naruto because it he his jutsu helped in neutral a lot, and we didn't
yeah.
switch.
Like Naruto the Last, if he had a like I won't say even an OP awakening, like let's say mediocre awakening, he would be top three characters in the game. Like I'm dead serious on that
Yeah, for
because
sure.
he is really OP. Like he's really that OP, and he is not just that OP. He is that easy. Like he is really that easy to use
Definitely.
because I was not convinced on Naruto the Last until I dropped Madara Danzo.
Bro, can I
Like
tell
when
you
I
something
dropped
by
them,
the way? Um,
yeah.
I just have an idea. Like, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but could
Oh,
we
no problem.
talk about the game's meta, uh, like
Yeah.
right after this? I think we should just finish talking about the top players and how the community changed, and then let's
Okay.
talk about the game's meta. Because, like, it's almost 3 hours of recording. That's why I'm
Yeah.
saying it. So,
Yeah. We
okay,
have
so I'm gonna
definitely.
ask you. Um,
Yeah.
like in my opinion, like you told me you didn't really care much at that time. You were just winning, 95% of your FDs. But I
Yeah.
think, without a doubt, we can say you were the most dominant player even at that time. And then we have to put Playco until he just stopped playing permanently on console, right?
Okay.
Um, but besides that, I think like in 2021, I have to say Giza was like the best EU. I was the second best at that time. Or Ridge, I think, kind of.
Yeah.
Ridge was coming to the top. Like you would have to say he's top three at least. And you could even
Yeah.
argue he was top one or top two at that time too. Like you
Yeah.
could say
Yeah.
he might be better than you or Geza.
That's my opinion because I would say I would put to be honest I would put 2021 for Rage, to be honest, because I remember him playing FTs even against Playco, and he was actually winning. Except he was using Darui or whatever, like he was
Hmm.
using some stupid characters, but he was winning. Like most of, like you can see the neutral that he was using. He was really that guy in 2021,
Yeah, I
even in
mean,
2022. Like he
Geza,
was, he was that good.
he was very good, but like Geza won most of their FDs. But it needs to be mentioned. Ridge actually beat Geza in 2021. He
Yeah.
couldn't really do that before.
Like
So I
my
was
thing
so
is,
happy when I saw that.
in this specific thing, like Giza versus Reg. Giza had more experience than him
Yeah,
in NFTs. So for Reg to come out of nowhere like that and just quickly go through everything and just beat Giza, that for me makes him like, okay, he deserved top one in 2021, to be honest.
yeah. Like it has to be him or Geza. I would only come after them. Um,
Yeah.
and and yeah, Pleiko for NA, you for Asia, you overall anyway, and that would be my
And that's basically the summary of maybe the next 2 years, to be honest.
um.
Like we had,
I would disagree. I'm for EU. Yeah,
yeah,
that would be the
no,
summary
basically
for.
we had Rikido showing up. We had Rikido Itachi showing up.
Yeah.
We had Shen Rind from Arab showing up. We have these kind of players, but they came very late
Mm-hmm.
in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah. They
And
came
their
when things
period,
were inactive. You're right.
yeah, well, and their period, like I'm not discrediting them, whatever. Like they are really good players and whatever. But the thing is, they came in a late in the late like 2021, 2023, 2024, whatever. And at the same time, uh their period is more like months. They weren't consistent, like their consistency wasn't like a year or
Yeah,
something.
like
They would win, they would win one major of T two, three, and then drop, and then win, and then drop, and then win, whatever. You know?
I think we have to say, like for example, with Ricardo level 9, I'm actually impressed with him because
Yeah.
after you, Playco, me, he's the only guy that went out of his way to play everyone as much as he can and beat them consistently as much as he can. Like no one other than us really did that kind of like showed that kind of dominance on stream, but he did it. So I have
Yeah.
to like when it comes to dominance overall on Stormfront, I would have to mention him like top three or
Yeah.
top four. Um,
Yeah.
and
But but to finish the
yeah,
topping thing and everything, since we are almost 3 years of recording, let's just say our top three maybe overall,
like for
and
each
the
region.
history of, no, and overall, like an overall for the game.
Well, for me, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like it has to be you, Dept, Playco. Like that would be mine because no one else really showed the dominance that three of you
Mm,
had, and also if yeah, if like three of you weren't a part of this game, we wouldn't have the level that we have on the game right now.
okay, is that your order, or you want to order
I
us
mean,
in a way?
there is no, I cannot really put this in order, because, I mean, like I can make an argument to put any of you as top one, in the
Okay.
sense that, like, okay, my personal opinion, Playco is not better than either of you, but he he also had a really huge effect on the game, like how it is right now.
Agree.
That's why I don't know, huh?
Agree. Agree. I agree.
Okay, but what do you think?
Uh,
What's your top three?
okay, basically, I'll go by order here.
All
I
right.
have to put Depth of Darkness as number one because
Mm-hmm.
he's the guy that basically uh, I learned the most from. I would put number two maybe this would come a shock to you, and then maybe everyone else that is listening. Dark Mask,
No, not a
because
shock.
Mask is for people who don't know, Mask from 2016 until maybe late 2017, he was basically undefeated in his region, and he also came up with the Madra Sage and Kaguya. So full credit go to Mask and playing Madra Sage, making him how OP he is until now. Also Kaguya, like nobody was using Kaguya. Nobody was using Kaguya. Like I'm being honest. Like who was using Kaguya in 2017? Only him, probably. Like
I
she didn't become. Yeah,
Playco
go
was
ahead.
trying to use her, but yeah,
Yeah,
nothing
but no
like
one
Mask.
is using her to full potential except for Mask.
Yeah.
So yeah, as of top three, I would put Playco because of the effect that he had on the game. The whatever you want to call it that me and him had all over the years, and yeah, that's my basically top three. I'm excluding myself out of the equation. So yeah.
I mean that's fine that you exclude yourself, but I think you have to be mentioned before Mask. To be fair.
Okay, so if I'm going to rank myself, I would always say I'm the best player because that was basically my mentality, and that's how I built my legacy in the game. Because you you cannot be the best player in something if you don't see yourself as the best in it. So if I'm going to say I'm the best player in the game, there's two people that I wouldn't be the best without them, which is depth and dark. Dark and depth, they basically helped me tremendously to be the non-dominant FlakeGem. So yeah, like I cannot say, oh, I'm just the best player. No, they really basically, especially Dark, because Dark was always saying, "Go play this, go try that, go do this," and he was just trashing me when I lose. How did you lose? How can you lose? Whatever. So he gave me that passion,
Yeah.
He gave me that passion of winning. Like he was just like he gave me the idea. Okay, you are the best player in the world right now. Like you do not lose to anyone. So yeah, but uh,
I mean
I guess
I
yeah.
I would have to say the same thing as you do partially, because Dark never exactly cheered for me. I mean, he actually, that's wrong. He cheered for me whenever I'm against anyone else except for him,
Mm,
right? Like against everyone else, he would be like, he would want me to beat them, because I'm the guy that he
yeah,
knows. Like he
yeah.
just wants me to beat. I don't know, when I'm against the French players, or I don't know, NA, whatever. Um,
Mm,
and we got close at times. Like we would have long conversations, whatever. But to me, the the person that helped me the most get good at Storm 4 has to be Depth, because if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have learned switching. I wouldn't have stopped being a noob. Like I'm calling
okay.
myself a noob because I just had habits where I don't know, I would sub like crazy things, or I don't know, do very stupid moves. He helped me stop those habits. He got me to switching. He got me to, basically try new things as much as I did. If it weren't for him, I wouldn't become good.
I understand because it's the same thing that happened to me too. So yeah,
Like if I never met him,
uh,
I would have just been like some random player, I feel like.
yeah. And actually, I want to take this opportunity uh, to say something. I never had the chance to say thank you for the people who always like principle. Like I generally do not know any of them, but once I go to streams and watch them back, there is a lot of people saying, "Oh, FlakeGem's top one. FlakeGem is the best player, whatever." And also, I've been streaming like for the last week. Like I had some time in my stream, and a lot of people saying welcome back, whatever. Thank you guys, like for I don't know, as corny as it may sound, as cringe as it may sound, I don't care. Thank you very much for the support.
There's nothing
Thank
wrong
you for
with
the
this, man.
respect.
It's fine to appreciate
Yeah,
the support.
yeah, because it's really rare for me to have these kind of feelings in Storm, to be honest. Because you know how toxic is the community, whatever. So I
Especially to you.
appreciate, yeah, like I appreciate respect and the cheering and whatever. So thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed the tournaments, the FTs. And to comment on one last thing, there is no coming back for me, like ever, because I don't have any time to play the game, and I already like did everything I want to do to on the game. So there is no coming back, even for connection, because the game is trash. To be honest, I'm not just trashing the game, but the game has a lot of issues,
Hmm.
and it's not fun. Like I love fun games. Connection is anything but fun. To be honest,
I
like
mean,
there is nothing fun about it.
like a significant portion of Storm players just migrated to Tekken. Personally, I think it's
Yeah,
just a better game to play. So,
yeah. Like until they put their time and effort and connection and try to make it actually a good game and a playable game, then I might consider come back and play again. But as long as it's like that, it's not worth the time, to be honest. It's definitely not worth the time. And I already like wasted 7 years of my time playing Stone 4, so I'm not doing that again. Most definitely not for connection.
I agree. I mean, we're not as young as before, so
Yeah,
I'm not doing it either because I'm in my late 20s. Like I'm not gonna
yeah,
go and stream all day, every day,
yeah.
every single day of the week. Yeah, it was crazy. Um,
So
all right.
that's about me. Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. Um, do you have anything else you'd like to say, or
Uh, actually, for anyone that have finished these long 3 hours, I'd like to say thank you. Sorry in my part if there was any problem with my sound and anything, because I'm parking on the road, because I wanted to have a free space so I can speak more comfortably than indoors. I like outdoors more, so I'm sorry if there was any inconvenient sounds or whatever. And thank you for everyone who listened to this.
well,
Yeah,
don't worry, it's
that's
not noisy. But yeah, just like you said, thank you for everyone that will be listening to this, and thank you for taking your time if you did listen to all of it. It's almost
yeah,
3 hours here, and
yeah,
um, yeah, thank you, Flake. Like it was a really fun and interesting conversation. Maybe we can do conversation like this in the future as well, because
yeah.
I think
Oh
some
my God.
people will find this very interesting.
Yeah. Like if people have questions, concerns, they want to ask anything, whatever
Oh yeah,
they want, I don't mind answering questions. Like me personally, like if anyone have a question for me, I don't mind answering.
yeah. If anyone
So yeah,
has any questions or anything that they would like to share, please go
yeah,
ahead and leave a comment. Will be more than happy to answer. And if there's enough demand, we might even make a follow-up video or a stream.
yeah.